Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
You saw shootings in actual schools themselves. Here's a little bit more of what he told me when I spoke to him just before he went and testified.
I don't think
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Unscripted Unscripted, damn it. It's another episode of Unscripted. My words are just not coming out of my mouth today, Logan. But welcome to another edition of Unscripted. It's good to be here. We just had the home run derby. We're getting ready for the All-Star game tonight. And what a time it is to be alive when I can look at Stat Guy and say, Stat Guy, your stats completely suck. That Schwarber didn't even get out of the first round. He was still in the bullpen waiting for his time to come. What a time to be alive. What a time. And I'm going to Stat Guy plenty of time to address his pick, and we'll all address what we thought was going to happen in the Derby, because that is quite amazing. But for now, Rob, big shout out, Rob. What is up, my brother?
Unmute yourself, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Jay? Everything's good. Just getting ready for this All-Star game tonight. We got the All-Star Edition show Tuesday night. In an hour, the All-Star game's about to be on. I'm looking forward to watching it, and hopefully the NL will win tonight, because I think the AL has won the last couple years, and all time. Yeah, the AL I think is 46 and 43 all time. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'm hoping NL can win. But we'll see how the AL does. The AL is very stacked, and if they ended up pulling it, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Logan, babyface, what's up, my brother?
What's up, bro? Like you said, All-Star game tonight. I'm hoping for a tie game going into extra innings, because I don't know if you saw, but they are going to have a miniature home run derby in the 10th inning if it's tied. So I am hoping that it comes to it, because that is going to be a show to watch.
Absolutely. And by the way, Acuna was horrible at the Derby. Just horrible. But I'll give you the opportunity.
It was a rough night. Did you see what he was wearing tonight, Jay? Very much looking sharp on the red carpet.
Listen, you got to look sharp when you post up those types of numbers at the Derby. You got to do something to counteract it, Logan. But we'll get more back to that. Stat Guy, what is up, my brother?
Oh, not much. Just reliving my childhood right now by watching Weekend at Bernie's in the background.
Yeah, I haven't seen that show in a hot minute. And then the man himself, the man who has been, quite honestly, as Frankie, the Yankee says, MIA in a lot of discussion posts.
Nah, but here's no. Hold on, no. You're not gonna lie. You're not gonna lie. I'll let y'all get away.
Don't do pride like that.
I'm not lying.
I know.
What Frankie was saying.
Because here's the thing. No, hold on. No, I'm gonna stop this narrative because you guys are my name. While you guys are saying the most imaginable, and in the other hat talk, I'm gonna go Frankie. Once I have entertaining jokes, I promise I'll be here. I promise. I told you, if you're gonna make jokes at my expense, make them good. You're boring. Do better. Where's the Jay that when the Celtics lost to the finals? Where's that Jay? And you need to, because where was that Jay? Remember when we lost in the finals? I need that Jay.
I'm trying to do better, man.
That's the Jay I need.
I haven't got there yet. I'm trying, though, Pride. I'm trying.
I'm just saying,
I haven't
bro.
got there yet.
You listen. That was not your finest hour, man. You need to do better, man.
It wasn't.
You can
No,
do better.
it was not.
You can
It
do
was
better.
not. You know, I felt so bad about it. I felt so bad about that I asked Frankie, and and we did the experiment with Logan, just shit talk with Logan, and see what his response is, see what kind of good. And you know what I learned? Logan really takes shit talking well. He's really a master at taking the shit talk. And I learned a lot from him. And I'm learning a lot from you, and I'm trying to do better and get better at my shit talking. I'm not there. I know I'm not. I probably got an elementary education.
No, Jay. That's not the problem. The problem is you are there. You just weren't there the last few days, Jay. That's all. But you have it in your pocket because you've seen Logan. Hasn't Jay come out with some A-tier trash talk, especially when the Celtics lost the finals? That might have been.
Jay was on a roll for a few days with getting on.
Right.
You,
it was like what 4 days? 4 days in a row that he was coming with banger after banger.
I can see it.
Yeah, it was. You gave him 2. I gave him 4. I gave him 4 because there were a couple lines.
I'll take whatever I can get. I'll be honest with you.
I'm just saying, bro. If y'all gonna make jokes at my expense, make them funny. Make me laugh. If I'm not laughing, it's not fun. Jay, you can do better, Jay. I've seen you do better. Like I said, when the Celtics lost the finals, you were, as the children say in the streets, en fuego. I believe that's what the children say in the streets.
Is that what they're saying nowadays?
I believe so. I am not in touch with those lads that I used to roll back in yonder days. So,
Hey, real quick, I do want to kind of get everybody's thoughts on a little bit about what they thought would happen and what actually happened in this home run derby. Like I was telling Stat Guy, and I'd be honest with you, hey, I really thought Schwarber, was going to do well at the home run derby, and he just flat out sucked. But I honestly thought that Alonso would win the derby, and he got close, but he just kind of faded towards the end. And honestly, Rodriguez from the Mariners put on a hellified performance to the tune of like 81 home runs, and Soto, comes out with the win, and I guess, kind of shows, that he's still trying to validate that $440 million whatever to get the spotlight on him. But Soto played well. But again, I think Thursday we need to talk about revamping and what we can do to revamp this home run derby, because I got to be honest with you, 81 home runs to Soto's 56, even though I know it's a head-to-head type of thing, I think we need to revisit, should the home run derby be head-to-head, or should it be an accumulative 3 rounds of just going at it, and whoever has the most home runs wins. I mean, and if y'all want to give a preemptive, response to that, certainly go ahead. But I'm going to start talking. We'll work all the way down to Pride at the bottom and get what you guys thought of it and what you think. Big Shot Rob, you got the mic.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about the guy having the most total home runs. I think it does make sense in a way. But you also got to look at it like it's an individual, tournament. So it goes like round by round, and whoever wins goes to the next round and faces the next person. But yeah, Jay, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's always good to try something out new. And if they want to do the All-Star Game home run derby like that, they could definitely try it. If it doesn't work out, it's not good. They can always go back to the old way. But it doesn't hurt to try something new to see how it goes. So I wouldn't mind seeing it. And if it doesn't work out and people don't like it, then they can just go back to the way it is now.
Yeah. Logan.
Yeah, I never really had an issue with the out system, honestly. I get they changed it because, just to make things faster and seem more competitive. And I get that. But like you said, whenever you see someone hit 80-plus home runs and they still come in second, they still lose, then you start to think, well, I mean, shouldn't it be the guy who hit the most home runs and not in just the allotted amount of time? So I honestly don't mind if they go back to the out system. I don't know if you have 10 because, I mean, those things would last 3 to 4 hours. So, I mean, that you might have to shorten that a little bit. But I think they still need to do a little bit of tweaking and before they get it right in the sweet spot. Because, I mean, like you said, it's just kind of getting a little played out at this point, and I wouldn't mind a change.
Yeah, I would not either. Stat Guy, what's your opinion, my brother?
Oh, you're muted.
In Schwarber and Acuna's defense, and I'm not defending their performance because their performance was terrible, but you have to look at the shadows when they went as opposed to when the first couple hitters went, because even Juan Soto said he was having a hard time seeing that baseball when his first round was, because that's when the shadows started to go over the pitcher's mound. So that could have affected Schwarber, that could have affected Acuna. I'm not saying it did, but Schwarber and Acuna just did not perform the way that anyone expected them to perform last night. In terms of how they change things, I don't think they need to go back to the 10-out system. I actually like the 3-minute format that they have now. But they just got to do away with this head-to-head crap and basically just do, you have the 8 guys come out and hit, the 4 guys that have the most home runs after the first round advance to the second round, the 2 guys that have the most home runs advance to the finals, and then you do a head-to-head in the finals. That way there's no controversy like last night, how a guy that hits 81 home runs, well, I mean, he would have lost anyways because he was head-to-head with Juan Soto in the final, but at least you can get the guys that deserve to be there, because there's been times where, I think it was in Colorado last year, for example, there was a guy that had 30 home runs and another guy that had 27 home runs, and the guy that had 27 home runs didn't advance because he lost in a head-to-head. They just need to do away with the head-to-head and just go straight. You have the 8 guys hitting that first round, the 4 most home runs advance. Same thing in the second round. You have the same format. The top 2 guys in that round advance, and then you go to that head-to-head format in the championship. That way there's no controversy as to this person should have won because they had more home runs than this person.
Okay. Fried, what do you think, man? What do you think about this whole home run deal? Fried, you there?
Pride's muted.
Yeah, Pride is muted. He might. Are you there, Pride?
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so it's my turn. I just want to make sure I'm
Yeah, it's your turn.
cutting anyone off because I've been getting yelled at me. Okay, I just want to make sure. $1 million question, real quick. Just I'm asking for a friend because I got a friend in the background. He's like, what's the controversy here?
No, I was just saying, like, given that, Rodriguez had like 81 homers and then Soto had 56, should we go to, where it's just 3 rounds and then whoever has the most home runs at the end of that 3 rounds is the winner? Or should it still stay where it's head-to-head?
I would leave it where it's head-to-head. I would leave it because it does. Because here's the thing: it doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't matter how many home runs you hit overall. It matters in the round. Maybe he had, like, for instance, I think it was the second round that Rodriguez had to go bonkers. I think it was. So
First 2
like,
rounds he went bonkers.
You said what?
First 2 rounds he went bonkers. He had 30 in the first round, then 32 in the second round, and then he had 19 in the final.
Okay, so he had 30. So are we gonna give him the title based on what he did the first 2 rounds? To me, I don't understand that. I don't think there's any controversy. He had 89. He should have hit 100 because maybe he would have gotten more in the final round and he would have won. In my opinion, it's a head. Once you're in the second round, it doesn't matter how many home runs you hit the first round because those don't carry over. Same exact thing as the second round. Whatever you do in the second round doesn't matter when you go forward. Why? Because it doesn't carry over. So in my opinion, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's a situation that really needs to get fixed. It's just really a situation of, any format, you get the shaft really in this situation when you go first. Why? Because if you come out and you drop 32, then it's going to make this notion look like, oh, wow, he was really good. But at the end of the day, if he went second, he probably wouldn't have hit 32. He wouldn't, because he didn't need to. Same thing in the first round. He wouldn't have hit 30 because he didn't need to. Because after you get the game winner, they stop you. I think it was. I think right before the championship, before Juan Soto got to the championship, when he knocked out Albert Pujols, he had time on the clock and he just hit one more and it went.
Right.
So for me, it's like, why? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and give Rodriguez, because Rodriguez. Check me if I'm wrong. Didn't he go first both rounds?
Yeah, I believe so. It was definitely first. It was definitely first up.
So he goes first both rounds, and in just one round,
set the stage for the guy he was going up against. Probably came in guard on that one.
I mean, if you're the second guy, 50 home runs, that hit one more example. So when
Well, you're coming in garble, Bubba. I think there might be something on your transmit line.
Yeah, I agree with Pride that it should stick head to head, but you can't. I think it should only be head to head for that final round, just because the first 2 rounds it's still technically head to head, but it's like head to head to head to head to head, where everyone's got to try to one up the person that went before them, just to make sure just to guarantee that they finish in front of that person that went before them. So let's just say Juan Soto would have been the first guy out of the gate last night, and he hit, let's just say, 26 as the first person. Albert Pujols would hit second, and all of a sudden now Pujols has to get 26. But if Albert Pujols only gets 22, then Juan Soto's guaranteed to be ahead of him, and then you have 2 more guys. Let's just say Schwarber gets 25 and Seager gets 17. Well, then Juan Soto knows he automatically advances to that second round, so it doesn't matter what the people behind him do at that point. He automatically gets to the second round. I don't like the head-to-head format that they have now, where it's a 1 seed versus an 8 seed, and like a 2 seed versus a 7, and so on and so forth. I never liked that 10 out format for the sole purpose that sometimes it took 20 minutes for that person to finish, because they would hit a lot of home runs and there wasn't timed or whatever.
Right.
So I wouldn't go back to that 10 out format. I like the 3-minute format, but I would just do away with the head-to-head format for the first 2 rounds and go back to how things were prior to that, where it's literally a head-to-head format, but you don't have the bracket style. It's everybody going against each other, and then the top 4 people get to the next round, and then the top 2 people go to the final, and that's when it obviously becomes a head-to-head, because you have to have a head-to-head in the final.
But what's the point though? Because again, the only reason why you would do that style is if you feel bad for someone who's basically getting 30-something home runs around, but that's not stopping the problem. The problem on why a guy like that can get 30 home runs is because when you go first, you can milk the whole clock.
Yeah, no, I get that, but the problem
if whoever's second doesn't have to milk the whole clock, because what's the point of me milking the whole clock if all I need to do, for instance, if I need 12 home runs and I already have 13, why am I going to milk it and do 14, 15, 16, 17? In my opinion, there's no point. I think the home run thing is fine. It's just like, is it crazy that, he had 80 home runs? Yeah, that's crazy or whatnot. But to all of a sudden try to give him some, we feel bad award? Nah, bro. Because if Juan Soto went first, I guarantee his numbers would have been close.
Yeah,
I guarantee his numbers would have been close.
I'm not saying that it's to feel bad for somebody. I just look at it like, you can go back to 1999 when the home run derby was at Fenway Park and Sammy Sosa had 1 home run in that first round. Well, if they would be doing the head-to-head bracket style format, all it would take was it would literally be over in 20 seconds. The guy would hit 2 home runs and be over. And then
that's fine. And
then you have certain instances where a guy could go off for 35 home runs in the first round, and his opponent could get 28, and that 28 could be the second highest total among everybody in that bracket, and they don't advance because they were put with somebody that had 35 home runs. That's why I don't like that style.
But again, that's not a problem, because that just means on this day you were bested by somebody better. That's the equivalent of if we're going to the NBA playoffs. Oh shucks, the poor 8 seed is against the 1 seed. We gotta change it up to give them a shot. No. You got who you got, and if you end up getting 28, hey, that's a great accomplishment. Congratulations, hats off to you. But I'm not gonna punish the next guy up for knocking him out by getting 29. I'm not gonna punish that second guy, and I'm not gonna say, oh, we gotta change up the format because X, Y, and no. Me personally, I'm not doing that. If you wanted to win, bro, you should have made sure it was fine and gotten 30. If Albert Pujols can make the second round, ain't nobody got no excuse whatsoever. I'm gonna leave it at that. You got Albert Pujols who had to go out there with a cane. My guy was heavy breathing walking to the plate. And y'all telling me, bro, my guy was tired. Y'all saw when he was against Juan Soto, they gave him the extra 30 seconds, and Manny Machado was talking to him. He was leaning on Manny like, like, bro, if he can make the second round, I feel bad for absolutely nobody. Again, great accomplishment that he got 80, but here's the problem. Most of those 80, he should have gotten those in the final round. But he didn't. He had to go first, so he had to set the tone.
Right.
So I don't feel bad whatsoever. I don't think there's really any problem at all. It was just a situation where he went up against, he had to set the tone, and the first 2 rounds he came out with bangers. And hats off to him. But I'm not going to sit here and try to change the rules up because to all of a sudden talking about, oh yeah, it's not fair. This, that, and third. You know what's not fair? The fact that people want to punish the guy who went out there and beat this dude who was out there dropping 30.
Would you be okay with doing it this way then, Pride, if you want to keep the same format that they have right now? Let's just say, like, Juan Soto gets 35 in the first round, beats his opponent with 27. The next guy goes, it's like 28-20. The next guy goes, it's like 23-19. And then all of a sudden, the final round goes, the first guy that goes gets 12 home runs, and the second guy that goes only needs 13 to win. Are you okay? Would you be okay with allowing that last guy to go the duration of the time to see how many home runs he can hit and then reseed for the second round?
If he wants to, the option is there for him. If he wants to, I don't think he should be demanded to, or people should say he should.
No, he shouldn't be demanded to, but if he chose to, would you be okay to reseed the second round? And let's just say he ended up getting 37 home runs in that first round because he wanted to finish the time.
If he wanted to, sure. But again, the people who are having your thought process are making like y'all making a mistake. Y'all keep forgetting it's round by round. This is not an accumulation. It's what did you do round one? Did you have more than the pressure you're up against? All right, cool. You now go into round two. If in round one, for instance, Rodriguez, he had 30 in round one. When he went to round two, how many did he start with? Can someone give me a quick number? 0? Wait, hold on. If he started with 0, that must mean starting round two, it doesn't matter what you did round one. Am I crazy?
I get it. And I think I can see arguments for both sides. I think Pride has an excellent point where, that's what I was telling Mickey Delaney when he was so pissed off because the Seattle Mariners, didn't get that home run trophy because he felt slighted because, Juan Soto got 53, but Rodriguez got 81. I understand his viewpoint on that, but at the same time, I also see Pride's viewpoint on the round-to-round. Hey, it is what it is. You go head-to-head, and, hey, if you want it, then you got to outperform me in this round. And so I get both sides of the the equation, and we'll see where it goes. But
Jay, you want to know what it is, bro? You want to know what it is? You want to know why Dustin wants to change it? He's so mad that Kyle Schwarber shit the bed.
No, I'm not mad at that at all.
He's trying to change the rules to give Kyle Schwarber another chance. You're not getting away with this.
It wouldn't matter because if you go based off of my format, Kyle Schwarber would have finished 6th out of the 8. So he still wouldn't have made it out of the first round anyways. He would have finished number 6 out of the 8 guys that went for a home run total. It would have been Seager, Ramirez, and Schwarber would have been the 3 lowest. So even going off of my format, Schwarber still doesn't advance because he still had a 12 round. But Pujols wouldn't have advanced either because I think Pujols finished 5th out of that first round. So then Pujols would have been eliminated based off a home run total if you go off of my format.
I'll be honest with you. You would have a point if the MLB was pushing this as an accumulative type of situation where they're like, what do you do every round? You know what I mean? We put that in a pool. If it was a situation like that, then I'm with you. And then there should be a situation where it's like the first 8, you're just kind of it's a free-for-all. And everyone has, 90 seconds on the clock or however much you want to put on and go from there, right? Like if it was that type of situation, I would agree. But the way the MLB has it set up, whatever you do round 1, it's cute and all. But then when you go to round 2, you don't carry what you did round 1. So that's why for me, I'm not doing the whole thing on, we got to make sure whoever gets the money. Because at the same time, let's be honest, Kyle Schwarber should not have had that bad of a night. You know what I mean?
No, but did you see some of the pitches that his pitcher gave him though? That pitcher that Kyle Schwarber sucked.
All right. How many pitches were they bad? There was there was 5 egregious ones, and then the rest were like eh.
There was 5 pitches that the first 5 pitches that Schwarber got were terrible, and then he started to get in his groove, and then if you went into the bonus time that he had, I think Schwarber had 1 decent pitch to hit in bonus time. The pitcher he had was freaking terrible.
Yeah, and you know what else is terrible? It's home run hitting.
I do like the fact that they went to, the 3 minutes per person in the round because I felt like it really sped up the competition rather than doing the whole 10 out sticks. I felt like, when they were in the out system, we were here for nights. It felt like forever. But now, when they went to the time system, it really kind of moved the competition at a much better, rate.
I was actually thinking that same thing. Think about it, yo. I thought it would be longer because then they started saying that they have a timeout. But I don't know, like that timeout, I honestly enjoy it because they actually kind of put the camera in the player's face, and you can kind of see them kind of BSing with like other guys, and you can kind of hear them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
know
can
what I
hear
mean?
them
So,
talking about like, "Hey, I want you to start throwing me pitches here instead of here, and let me do
Yeah,
this."
yeah. So like when you get that, it's like, all right, yeah, it's a timeout, but it's like a different time of timeout where like, yeah, they're getting their rest, but then like you can kind of hear them, so it kind of helps. It makes the viewing pleasure a little more entertainable because now it's like, now it's not a timeout, and now it's not like, all right, we're now gonna coast the fans, and now it's gonna be like a guy doing a shameless ad. Stop by from tacos from El Taco. It's not no shameless ad while they're slowly panning or something like that. Like you kind of listen to the guys, and it's fun and interesting. So like, I definitely wouldn't put it back to the 10-out system because let's say 10 outs was shorter. Let's say for the sake of argument that for some reason 10 outs is quicker. It doesn't feel that way. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm crazy or what. And this is like the universal, feeling regarding it because that's why they had to change it. It's like,
Well, why
it's
10 out? You know why the 10 outs doesn't seem quicker?
Explain.
Because even with the 10 out format, every ball that hitter put in play, you watched where it landed. Now when the pitch comes, if the ball's not a home run, they don't even show where the ball goes. You see the ball leave the bat, and then immediately the pitch is coming in because it's not a home run. Versus over that 10 out format, you literally saw where the ball was going every single time, even if it wasn't a home run. Like they waited for the ball to land, and then you watch the next pitch come in. Now it's like if it's not a home run, they don't even bother to show where the ball's going, and they just throw the next pitch in there.
And that's actually a good point because
some of them home runs, they weren't even showing. It was literally swing after swing.
Like you literally only see the
that
home
split
runs
screen
or the ones that go like off the wall or close to the wall now versus you used to see like every pitch.
And to your point, Dustin, like another thing they actually do is like now not only are the audience not watching it, the players aren't watching it either. How many times do you see Juan Soto like swing and immediately reload the chamber because he understood like, hey, yo, I'm on a time limit. Like I think there was like a span where like Rodriguez was even like kind of, I think it was Rodriguez. He was waving the pitcher like, come on.
Yeah, because like you remember when Sammy Sosa was at Miller Park that one year where he was hitting the balls out of the glass?
Mm-hmm.
Every time he would hit the ball, whether it was a home run or not, he would stand in the batter's box and just like watch it, like watch the kids like chase after the ball as opposed to like, oh, I missed this one. Okay, throw me the next one.
Right.
And I think when it's a more of a rapid fire system rather than out, it almost helps the batter keep their timing or keep that you're in that moment, that momentum from pitch to pitch.
Right.
All right, folks, we're gonna move this show along. Next topic up for bid is Jefferson from the Minnesota Vikings says Adams is the best wide receiver right now, but come at the end of the 2022 season, he feels like he's going to be considered the best wide receiver in the league. So again, Jefferson right now, he's got 2 years in the league. He's 23. He has done well. I'm not going to lie. His rookie record of 1,400 yards in 20, and then 1,600 yards in 21. They give him a little over 3,000, which is the most in league history in your first 2 seasons. So he's definitely on track for that. Again, he does, he says he's always working on his craft, his route running and things like that to better himself each and every time he goes out. He feels like, and I agree with him, now that he has O'Connell, which is an offensive-minded guy, in that betterment now, I think that's going to help him. Adams has, I think in 2021, he had 1,553 yards. So again, I tell you, man, what do you guys think? Is Jefferson next year, if he has another breakout 1,600 plus receiving yards, will he be better than Devontae Adams? I personally don't think so. I think he still has more to go. But hey, what do I know? What do you guys think? We'll start at the top and work our way down. Robert, Big Shot Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this kid has potential to possibly maybe be better than Devontae Adams. But he's only been in the league, 2 seasons? And you look at that AFC North division, I mean, it's pretty much been Green Bay and Minnesota like for years now. Like Chicago hasn't been good. Detroit hasn't been good. And now with Devontae Adams, like he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers. So it's going to be interesting to watch Devontae Adams now playing with his college teammate Derek Carr, and that AFC West. I tell you, man, it's just loaded. You got it's loaded with talent. You know, now you got Russell Wilson in the division. You have obviously you have Russell Wilson. You have Justin Herbert.
Carr and Mahomes.
Yeah, and Patrick. Yeah, and Mahomes, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, and that division is just loaded. So it's going to be an interesting year. Obviously, Devontae is going to be the number one right now. The Raiders also got Hunter Renfrow. They still got Darren Waller. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The Raiders are going to be an interesting team to watch, and that division is definitely going to be competitive. So we're really going to see how good a wide receiver Devontae Adams is without Aaron Rodgers, who he's been with his entire career. And, you know, I think Aaron's made him better during that time. And we're really going to see how good a quarterback Derek Carr is as well, now that he has Devontae Adams. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But I think, yeah, Justin Jefferson, I think he has the potential as well to be a very, very talented wide receiver. We'll see also what happens with Kirk Cousins, because I don't know if Kirk Cousins is going to stay a Minnesota Viking, you know, much longer, because he's working with a defensive coach in Mike Zimmer. So
he's going to stay in Minnesota. If you saw the reports that came out the other day.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But obviously, looking at the AFC West, that division is much tougher now than the NFC North. And actually, I kind of like the Vikings this year over the Packers. I think the Vikings are the better team. They should win that division this year. Now that Aaron Rodgers doesn't really have a number one true wide receiver, so it's going to be interesting how Green Bay looks, and I think Minnesota is going to be good as well. And you know, Detroit will get up there. Hopefully, they'll get better. And you look at the Bears. Hopefully, maybe they'll get a little bit better. But still, I think it's like Minnesota or Green Bay's division for sure.
So Logan, Jefferson, Adams. If Jefferson posts in year 3 1,600 yards or better, is he going to be better than? Are we going to consider him better than Devontae?
I ain't gonna put it out there yet. I'm kind of with you, Jay. I think I need to see just for a couple more seasons. The talent is definitely there. I think that he has all the potential to be one of, if not the best receiver in the league one day. But we'll see how defenses are going to cover him this year. Now they know that he is legit, and they're going to guard him even tougher. So I think I love the kid. I love the confidence, but I don't think he's going to be Adams just yet.
Stat Guy, Jefferson, Adams. What are we thinking?
I mean, he's not wrong by saying what he said. Set an NFL rookie record, only to be passed by Jamar Chase last year. Has the most receiving yards in NFL history through 2 seasons. And people fail to realize that Adam Thielen has not been healthy these past 2 seasons. So it's been pretty much Justin Jefferson, and that's been it in Minnesota's passing game. Adam Thielen is now healthy again. And you have Adam Thielen healthy plus Justin Jefferson. That's going to open up more things for Justin Jefferson because teams aren't going to be able to double cover him. They're going to have to watch Thielen. They're going to have to still watch Justin Jefferson. And if you get Justin Jefferson on single coverage, he's going to beat you almost every single time. And I would not be surprised to see him have a similar year to what Cooper Kupp had last year with the Rams. Not only do you have Kevin O'Connell as your head coach, who was the offensive coordinator for the Rams last year, but the Vikings' new offensive coordinator was the passing game coordinator for the Rams last year that had Matthew Stafford have the year he had, and that it has Cooper Kupp have the year that he had. You put those two together with Kirk Cousins had the best year of his life last year. He could be in for a better year this year with those two guys calling the plays, and you have a guy in Justin Jefferson who can do a lot of similar things to Cooper Kupp, and if Adam Thielen stays healthy, you also have Irv Smith Jr., the tight end, who missed all of last season with a torn ACL. It's no longer just Justin Jefferson in that passing game. Minnesota has 4 legitimate options in that passing game, so teams aren't going to be able to double-team Jefferson.
And like you said, I think with O'Connell being their new head coach now from the Rams, and like you said, the offensive coordinator from the Rams, what is that going to really do now for Kirk Cousins' career?
Well, did you see the reports that came out yesterday with Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Basically, Mike Zimmer has been thrown under the bus by Eric Kendricks. And Eric Kendricks is one of the more soft-spoken guys in the NFL who really doesn't open his mouth too much. Eric Kendricks basically said that Mike Zimmer hated Kirk Cousins from day one, and there are now reports coming out that Mike Zimmer would purposely change the game plan in the fourth quarter to try to get Kirk Cousins to fail so he could run him out of Minnesota.
Was based off of that logic, now that's what I'm kind of getting to. Now that O'Connell is there and the new coordinator from the Rams is there, how much is that going to open up the door for Cousins to, his success, which would then obviously benefit Jefferson and his success. So I expect great things out of Minnesota come this year. Pride, Jefferson and Adams, man, what are you thinking, brother?
Look, I like the confidence. And for the first time in a while, right, this is one of those situations that confidence isn't really based on delusion, right? As soon as this kid came into the league, he took the league by storm, right? Remember, you know how people look at Jamar Chase? Yeah, that was Justin Jefferson his rookie year.
And Justin Jefferson didn't play the first two. And Justin Jefferson didn't play the first 2 games his rookie year because Mike Zimmer didn't start him.
Right, that's the part that we like. And as soon as he started, I think it was like week
3 is when he started. His first 7 catches for $150.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, week 2 he didn't start, but he had some more touches, and then that's when this entire thing was going on. Like, Mike Zimmer, what are you doing? This kid is a stud. And as soon as he got his
second half in week 2, he had like 5 catches for 89 yards in the second half of week 2, and it's like, why didn't you start him in week 1? Why didn't you start him in week 2?
Right, exactly, because you know what I mean. But ever since then, this kid has been electric. He's a top 10 wide receiver in the game right now. I don't care what anybody says. If you want to say top 5, I think that's an argument. That's an argument I'll entertain. In all honesty, that's a conversation. That's something I'll entertain. And this is coming from a dude where, I'll be honest, going in like I didn't really think Justin Jefferson was gonna be this special talent. I didn't think that. It took me only 4 weeks of watching him to realize, God damn, this kid is good. He's good. Who was it? It's Michael Rappaport and who else? That is Snoop. That motherfucker don't miss. Yeah, he's good. He don't miss. Yeah, he's fucking good. That's how I'm looking at Justin Jefferson. I love the confidence. I have no problem with his statement at all whatsoever. I think in order for him to be the best player the best wide receiver in the NFL, if you give me 2 more years of this play, and shoot, you know what? I even go on a limb. If he goes another year with Adam Thielen kind of not being there, Irv Smith no, I think Irv Smith left. Someone fact check me.
No, Irv Smith came back from a torn ACL. He's in the 4th year of his rookie year this year.
Okay, so okay. Oh yeah, it was a torn ACL. If he goes down again, right? That's now two guys that they wanted to build, like in terms of the pass game, they want to build around with you. If he gives me 1 more year of it's me or bust, I think top 3. And once you're in that top 3 category, it's really kind of up in the air. It's really like, all right, what's your preference, right? Like usually when you look at the top 3 wide receivers, or at least the top 2, for the longest time it was D-Hop and Devontae Adams, right? And it always came down to, all right, which do you like more? You like a dude that can jump and catch, or do you like a route runner, right? And that's kind of was kind of the same thing with Antonio Brown and Julio Jones, right? Where it was like, all right,
can do both.
Yeah, right, yeah, he could do both, right? But like and back then with Antonio Brown and Julio Jones, it really was, all right, AB is the route runner, but Julio Jones, he's not a bad route runner himself, and he could jump and get the ball. So it really came down to what's your taste. If he gives me 1 more year, dude, he's in that conversation. He's in that conversation. Honestly, I have no problem with what he's saying, because again, this isn't a delusional dude, right? This ain't like Chase Claypool talking about, I'm a top 3. Like this ain't nothing like that, right? This ain't like that. This ain't like Juju talking about, I'm an alpha. Like this ain't nothing like that.
Damien, your comment is irrelevant.
What do you say?
Wait, top 10. He's only been in the league for 2 years. Yeah, let's see.
And hold on. In those 2 years, tell me his production.
Who's led the league? Who has the most receiving yards in the NFL in 2 years?
Like, come on, what are we doing?
Damien, as a Bears fan, I wouldn't be saying anything about wide receivers.
I mean, yes, Cooper Kupp had the year that he had last year, but Justin Jefferson still leads the NFL in receiving yards the last 2 years. So he's been the best receiver in the NFL the last 2 years.
I ain't going that far, but I will say he
If
can
you
do
look
one
at
more year,
if you
he'll
look
be in
at
that
if you look
conversation.
at the yardage side of things, he's been the best receiver the last 2 years, just in terms of
Okay.
overall yards.
All right, so if we're just going by length, then that doesn't really mean nothing. Because if a dude has an 8-inch long penis, it don't matter if he comes in 30 seconds. You see what I'm saying? So it don't matter.
I love Pride.
It's always Dustin who makes me bring out these metaphors, bro. It's always Dustin who makes me try to get. I gotta get mad creative with Dustin, bro. I gotta get dumb creative with him.
Hey, typically I'm the one that says that kind of stuff. So Pride, it's unusual for somebody else
Don't
to say.
hate me, Pride.
I don't hate you, Dustin. I promise. I don't hate you.
Hey, before we get into this topic, because now we're gonna get into a bit of baseball. Frankie brought up something in the messenger, which is a good point. I forgot about it. I did see it earlier. Rachel Robinson, the widow of the late great Jackie Robinson, turned 100 today, and she's still going strong, baby. So happy birthday, Miss Robinson.
She should be throwing out the first pitch tonight.
Where's my mother? Nah. You know what we need to do? The next Jackie Robinson day, we need her throwing out her first pitch. And I'm gonna tell you this right now.
You know what?
If she can get out there without a walker, Albert Pujols needs to be ashamed of himself.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm just gonna say it.
What you just said, Pride. Not only should she be throwing out the first pitch, but it should be like a Dodger versus Yankee game in Brooklyn, New York, where she should be throwing out that first pitch.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome, honestly.
Honestly, if I'm the MLB, I try to do that.
I mean, I don't even know if there's any fields in. I don't know if there's any fields in Brooklyn anymore.
Hey, let me ask you: if you don't go to Brooklyn, would you then go to that? Remember how they did the All-Star game at the Field of Dreams? Do you go to Field of Dreams? You know, because it's almost kind of like that memoresque of Jackie, right? I don't know. I mean, it is.
What about? Oh, I know where they could do it. Do it at Cooperstown.
Oh, that would be good too. Cooperstown would be a good spot.
Cooperstown has a field, but it's not like. I think they can only have like 2,000 or 3,000 people there, but they could easily bring in.
Yeah, but that's going to be all televised. So, I mean, that's just going to be national all over the place. I think
they could easily bring in like another 10,000 bleachers and just do like a Yankees versus Dodger game at Cooperstown and have her throw out the first pitch if she's still around for the next Jackie Robinson day.
Yeah, because Frankie points out there's no field there in Brooklyn. So, again, I think Cooperstown would be a good spot. I think that Field of Dreams that they had the All-Star game at that last go-around would be a good spot. I mean, there's plenty of really good historic spots they could do it at. I mean, it would be amazing. So,
Jay, do not, for the love of God, Jay, do not put that comment up by Damien. For the love of God,
no, I'm not. I just
don't acknowledge it. Thank you.
No.
I want to see that comment, darn it.
Logan, I try to be fair. I try to put everybody's comments up, but sometimes you do have to have a little bit of candor. So
I want to see that comment. Somebody copy and paste that in the private chat.
I got you. Check the private chat.
Yeah. All right, folks. Hey, let's get into some baseball. My boy.
Wow.
See what I mean?
Justin Verlander in the Astros gear.
I knew this was coming up.
Because you know who's at the top of the list. The top of the list is Nolan Ryan, another Astro, Angel, Ranger. Those are the three teams he pitched. I mean, he's at the top. So then we got Verlander at 39 after Tommy John, now sitting at 14. He beat out Bob Gibson and Pedro Martinez. And I think realistically, he's at about 31, I believe it was like 3,100 strikeouts, 3,121, I think is where he's at right now. And to get to 8th place, he had to be around 3,500. And I think he's realistically can do that after this Tommy John. As long as he can stay out of injury, I think he can get there. His ERA right now is amazing. At 39 years old, he's got a 1.89 ERA. Just amazing. And again, though, I do want to point out that Scherzer's on that list, and he's right behind him at, I think he's about 115 or so strikeouts behind Verlander. And there's about a 2-year age difference with Scherzer and Verlander. So, again, I mean, what do you think, man? This number one, that's the question I want to ask you guys. Can Verlander get to the 3,500 mark and get that 8th spot? And also, can Scherzer surpass Verlander and probably jump into the number 7 spot? What do you guys think on the list? Robert, we'll start there and work our way down.
Yeah, I think if Verlander can stay healthy, he's definitely got a shot. Same thing with Scherzer. Both these guys need to stay healthy to have that longevity in their career. I think that's definitely a big thing. If they stay healthy, both of them will have a shot to maybe catch Nolan Ryan and some of the other guys possibly in front of them. But it's obviously all about the health, because as you get older, you're not as strong as you were in your younger days, and you kind of weaken, and you can start having problems with your arm. So, to me, it's all about the health for both these guys.
Yeah, I agree. Logan?
Yeah, right now, like I said, it's going to be going back and forth with these two. Scherzer's only, I think, 12 strikeouts behind Verlander all time, so they're going to be flip-flopping through the whole season. Like I said, right now, Verlander's 14th. Realistically, this season, he'll be top 12. He's got Pedro and Fergie Jenkins ahead of him. And, I mean, he only needs about 60 more, give or take, to beat Fergie. And then there's a little bit of a big jump there. Phil Necro's got 3,300. So I think realistically he'll get within the top 11 this year. Same with Scherzer, right? They'll be right there together. But I don't know if he'll get a whole lot further to, like you said, the 3,500 in the top 10, in that area. Just because he is almost 40. He is coming up on 18 years, right? I think 17th or 18th year in the league. So I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. He's 39, right? Usually most pitchers don't go super long. They'll maybe have 2 or 3 years tops, right? So,
Right.
and like I said, I'm not discrediting him at all. He's having a tremendous season. He's a Cy Young candidate for sure, if not the current leader. But I don't know how, like you mentioned, he does have previous injuries, and also age comes into effect, of how that's going to work out a little bit later on. Because every single guy in the top 10, Jay, played 20-plus seasons. Right. So he would have to definitely go past that. And I don't know if, especially this day, when we don't see a whole lot of pitchers at least pitch in their mid to late 40s, right? I don't know if he'll be that willing to do that with already how much he's accomplished. But I definitely think he could get really close to getting the Phil Necros, the Greg Maddoxes, and whatnot, and maybe just a little shy of the 3,500, but it wouldn't surprise me if he keeps going, though, as well as he's been pitching.
Yeah, because when you look at a guy like Nolan Ryan, who's at the top at 5,700.
Yeah, ain't no one getting that.
But people understand, he pitched until he was 47 years old. I mean, he
played almost 30 years in the league.
But also, not only did he pitch that long in terms of years, but he still went deeper into the game than what they're doing nowadays. I mean, he was just an anomaly. Physically, genetically, the way his body held up, he was just an anomaly. It's stupid.
He's almost got 1,000 more strikeouts than second place, almost. That's how crazy
it's incredible. I think is it Randy Johnson who's underneath him?
Randy Johnson's number 2 with 4,875, and like you mentioned, Ryan's got 5,714.
Yeah,
so
and he was another
8,900 more.
Right. Prime, what do you think, man? How far do you think Verlander gets on that list, and do you think Scherzer passes him?
I think Justin Verlander ends up probably 12th, maybe 11th.
Okay.
If this was a few years back, we'd have a different conversation. We're looking at an older Justin Verlander who has a bad reputation of not being able to go as long as he once did. The problem is when people think of Justin Verlander, they think of the Detroit Tigers Verlander. The dude who's out there having no problem, he'll pitch a complete game, take a day off, and come back and then give you 7 innings. The problem is he's not that guy anymore. It's to the point now where Logan, make sure I'm in the right ballpark here. But he would have to play the next 5 years and probably average 8 innings per game to even get close to the top 10.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to beat, like I said, Martinez and Jenkins, because he's less than 100 away from both of those guys, so he'll definitely beat him. And then Phil Necro is 11th with 3,342, so that's half the season next year, give or take.
And he's actually getting, he's been averaging, about 10 strikeouts in 6 to 7 innings. He doesn't go beyond 6. He really doesn't even go beyond 6.
The problem is that for every 6 innings he pitches, unfortunately now it's 6 months he's out. That's the unfortunate reality of where he is now. Like, You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like he could,
If he didn't miss last season, I would
we
definitely
have a
lock
whole
it in.
different conversation. If he doesn't miss last year, we have I think top 10 is
Top
a
10.
realistic. I think it would have been top 10 would have been not only a realistic projection. I think he could have potentially, especially seeing how he pitched this year, how he's pitching currently. I think you could make an argument even 9th or 8th. I think that type of conversation is something that like wouldn't be ultra far fetched. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
get
like,
you.
so it's like that year that he missed. It's brutal and it's rough, bro. But it's like, and again, to Logan's point, and Brian made the same point. You got a dude who's starting to get, very injured, right? Right? He's basically Houston's version of Chris Sale. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? And he's starting to get older. And then if you listen to him, like if you kind of see him like kind of talk when he's like off the field or they kind of talk about him, it's almost as if he already has one eye after baseball. It's almost as if he understands himself. Hey, I ain't got that much long left up in here, so you know what I mean? So I'm starting to plan. And to answer your Max Scherzer point, I think it's the same thing. Can he remain healthy? Because honestly, whoever's basically ends up higher on the all-time list, in this very, in my opinion, pivotal stretch of their career, it's going to come down to who's going to go out there and give you the most innings. And right now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like,
And Scherzer
in the
is
end,
up breaking down.
And if,
Right,
if,
so-
if Scherzer can stay healthy, because he is 2 years younger, he has played too
if
much.
he's healthy, if he
If he is healthy, then I think
Mhm.
he is going to pass Verlander all time.
right, but that's the thing, like,
If
which is a big if, because remember what I was saying about Justin Verlander? Yeah, insert Max Scherzer as well, because
Yeah,
the dude
I
could
agree.
go out there and like, Max Scherzer is so intense he injures himself. Do with that information as you will. That's how intense he
Yeah,
is.
I
No,
know.
you know what
And
I
I'm
mean?
wondering, but I'm wondering after this Tommy John, now that Verlander has had, I'm wondering because some people say when you get that Tommy John that it does help you go longer. I just wonder how much longer after that Tommy John does he really have? Does it 3 years? 4 years?
But that's a 50% thing because
I agree.
you know what I mean? So for every
Yeah.
guy that goes out there and is able to elongate his career, there's the 2 or 3 handful guys that also either A, fall off the face of the planet, or B, is able to continue that type of high performance, but for about another year or two before all of a sudden they come crashing down. So it's
Right.
like, me personally, like, again, and I do get where you're coming from with the Tommy John, because we've seen a lot of guys get Tommy John, all of a sudden they come back and they look reinvigorated, they look refreshed. All of a sudden, they went from having a mid-90s fastball to all of a sudden it touching triple digits, and all of a sudden everyone is like, wait, I thought only Aroldis Chapman can do that. But now everyone in their moms is averaging like, bro, yo, you got high schoolers averaging 101 on the gun. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that Tommy John stuff could help, but I don't know. For me personally, I still fear my pitcher getting Tommy John because it's like, for me.
But have
it's
you
like,
heard that some people, when they're young, they purposely get Tommy John to correct their arm or to avoid them?
a lot of people, a lot of people like in high school now are getting it just as that precaution. You know, it's wild because used to, like you said, it used to be the kiss of death. If you got that, you're screwed. But now, with technology and everything else, it's like you're not like Brian said, it's a 50-50 chance kind of now, because you could be better or you could be worse. But
I tell you what, though, if I have
more and more
high school
chances
going
of
for Tommy
people being
John,
better now.
if I get a high schooler going for Tommy John, you better damn sure find the best surgeon out there because you. Whew, I mean, there's still. I always say anytime you have a surgery, there's always risks involved. And that's the only thing that kind of makes me nervous about it. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we got to keep this train moving right along.
Also, Frank said 5 minutes till the AL smokes the NL.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do we got? National View Mets potential trade partner for Soto. And again, we were talking about this earlier, and I just want to get you guys' opinions because there's actually a couple of teams out there I think that are on the list. I think the Mariners are on there. Yankees were on there. I saw St. Louis was on there. But it looks like the Mets might have the inside track, even though I know they're in the same division. They even kind of talked about them being in the same division. But I think with those 3 top prospects that the Nationals really covet, that the Mets have, could that be the best thing for them? Along with, I'm assuming they probably ask for, at least one of the players off the Met roster. What do you guys think, Rob?
Yeah, it looks like right now the Mets have the best chance to get in them with the Mets prospects that they have. I could also see the Yankees definitely making a move for him, as well as I don't think the Marlins have prospects. I love to get that kid though. I love how he plays. He's 23 years old, left-handed. He plays the game of baseball great. Obviously won the home run derby yesterday, and he has a World Series as well. So, yeah, whoever I guess puts out the best deal is gonna get him. It's gonna be interesting. We'll definitely see what happens. If I were the Nationals, I would probably trade him out of the obviously trade him out of the NL and definitely to the AL. If they can find an AL team like the Mariners or something, that would be your best option right there. And then we get Julio Rodriguez and Juan Soto on the same team, so that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Logan, let me ask you, man. So you got Soto right about 23. I mean, very young guy. On the Nationals, and I get where Rob's coming from, and I think Pride and Gonza probably are thinking the same thing. I mean, I think the same thing. It's like, it's really weird that you would trade, in your division, because then you got to face this guy. But how worried would the Nationals be? Because I think once they trade Soto, they're pretty much in a rebuild anyway, and they know that it's going to be a while before they kind of get back to that competitive ball. So would the weight of those three prospects, plus maybe another veteran or cash considerations, wherever it may be, or draft picks or what have you, could they make? Would that be in Washington's favor because of all the return rate for Soto that they would be getting?
I would need a lot.
Or do you see another team, or do you have another team that you think would be more preferential that they're looking at versus the Mets?
Well, Frankie also put the Dodgers and the Red Sox are in contention, and I wouldn't trade them to the Mets just because, like Rob said, they're in the same division. You'd face them equally as you do, each and every single year. And let's be real here, he would probably hit 400 against them. So, firstly, I wouldn't trade him in the East. If there's another team, the NL, sure. But, I mean, you're going to have to pay this guy, if not upwards of $500 million. You better be giving me a lot for that. I want your top prospects. I want your draft picks. I want 17 players. And it's something where I forget where I saw it, but someone said it would be kind of like a Herschel Walker deal. Whenever they traded him back in the day, Jay, and they gave up 47 players or whatever it was for him and a boatload of draft picks. And I mean, he rejected their offer, the 14-year offer, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to sign something for that long. But I think, we lost Jay, great. But I think that they would probably go with whoever has the best farm system at the moment between those teams. And I get the Mets are in that kind of win now mode. The Red Sox are iffy, right? They're picking up some steam, but they're not at the top
here's the thing.
yet.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't even care about our farm system. The reason why I put no merit in the Red Sox, why are we going to go and trade for Juan Soto, who's going to want a big contract, right? We literally traded Mookie Betts because he wanted it. And we refuse to pay Xander Bogaerts and Rafael Devers, who's currently on our team.
Right.
Gabriel,
I wouldn't understand that at all.
Waste our time trading.
If he goes to the Dodgers, I'm just not going to watch baseball. That's going to be depressing. The fact
to be honest, bro. Let's be honest, bro.
You know how sad that will be if he ends up wearing the Dodger blue with Mookie? I know.
I've also heard the Padres as an option as well.
I would like that one.
I can understand that. I would like the Padres. That would be fun. Yeah, because that might put the Padres over that hump. In the West.
Yep.
And not only would it help put them over the hump, they also earn that win now mode. So they got some solid farm players, right? God knows what they want to do with Eric Hosmer, right? So you might as well be like, hey, do us a favor, take Eric Hosmer, right? Because
you think they would give up Machado though? Because they're not giving up Tatis, obviously.
No, you keep Machado and Tatis because you bring in Soto to be protection for them guys. And we're gonna get better pitches to hit with Soto in that lineup.
And not only that, you also got to remember, if I'm the Nationals, I wouldn't want So no disrespect to them, but Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., I wouldn't want any of them. I'd rather go get a farm guy because what's the point of me getting them? Remember that, because think about it. If they're gonna do all that just to probably trade whoever they get anyway, for either draft picks or more farm players, because they're in a full-blown rebuild right now. The only reason they want Juan
trade
Soto,
to the best team with the best system. And
100%, yeah. Just look exactly, Logan. Like you said, look for the best system, then go. Okay, I want 1, 2, and 3. This
plus
is
some
the
draft
starting
picks.
offer.
Like that's all you need. And take off some salary.
Right,
Like,
and mind you, this is just for us to start talking.
Right.
Because
But,
this kid is
I
young and he's
100%
phenomenal.
think that he's not going to be on this team come next year. I don't think so.
No way.
Just
way.
because it would be idiotic for them to let him walk for absolutely nothing.
Oh, he's not going to be on this. He's not going to be on the Nationals past the trade deadline this year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah. I mean,
Next
I
14
think the
days,
deal will be
he's
done. I mean, he proved. I mean, hey, people were saying last night he's got that $500 million swing when he won it. So
That was my pick too. I picked Soto yesterday on the show.
Also, one more thing too about the home run derby before I switch things off. Julio Rodriguez made more last night coming in second place than he's making this season.
Yes,
he
it's
made
crazy, dude.
He made 7,500.
Yeah,
It was 750,000 last night. He gets paid a base salary of 700,000.
Yeah, he would have made like $1.5 million if he'd have won it.
What a loser.
Right.
What
so,
a loser.
Congrats to him,
What
man.
a loser. What
Man,
a loser. What a loser.
Hey, it pays
What
to
a
lose,
second
apparently,
place
right?
loser. What a second place loser. Imagine couldn't even win a home run derby, so he had to settle for second. What a loser. What a bum. He's a certified bum. He's about to get cut, be in the farm system for another year, and then he's going to be forgotten. What a bum. This is a highlight of his miserable career. I'm kidding. I like him. He's cool.
If he would have got to hit second in those first 2 rounds instead of hitting first, I think he would have won it because I think he wore himself out in them first 2 rounds hitting 30-something home runs. Where if he'd have put second, he wouldn't have had to hit that many.
So you're interesting. So you mean he would have had to sacrifice hit the actual home run? So instead of hitting 80, you think he would have had a better chance if he hit the lower number, like let's say 57? Interesting. But Chris, doesn't that mean we got to change the entire home run derby?
I don't think so. I like how they have it now.
Oh,
It used to be even worse.
Right? Let me shut up. I'm being a bitch right now. Move on. Logan, take over, bro. Move on. This is sensitive. Yeah, y'all about to get sensitive pride again, bro. I got flashbacks to the Celtics losing the finals.
So, hey, again, if Soto was to go to the Dodgers, I would never hear the end of it in the group chat. Jonathan Mathis. Jonathan Mathis would be all over that.
Well, but at the same time, do the Dodgers have a chance? Sure, they do. Don't get it twisted. But the thing is there are other teams who have much more farmable players, right?
Yeah, right.
Like I think Rob said that Miami's not really he doesn't really like the Miami thing. The only caveat with the Marlins, they would have to, because if we're gonna be honest, their farm system is their professional team. If we're gonna be honest, right? They're a farm team in progress, right? So instead of the farm system for them, I would just pluck dudes like Sandy. I can't even say his last name. The pitcher,
Alcantara.
Alcatraz. Him, yo, if you can get him, you're not gonna get Jazz. I don't think you'll get. Well, maybe, because there's rumors that supposedly they don't like Jazz for some reason, right?
Most people thought Alcantara should be starting the All-Star game tonight over Kershaw.
I mean, yeah, and then I got all these fans talking about, yo, respect Kershaw. I mean, no one's disrespecting Kershaw. No one's disrespecting him. It's just there are other guys who also deserve to be in the starting spot.
And Kershaw got it because it's in L.A.
If we're gonna be honest,
Jonathan Mathis has been tearing up Facebook about how he's been defending why Kershaw should be.
He's been arguing with Marlins fans for the last 2 days.
Yeah, I've been seeing it come across my Facebook feed quite often. I'm like, man, it is what it is. Why are you arguing with Marlins fans? There's only like 6 Marlins fans out there, and he found all 6 of them.
I don't know, man. If you're a Marlins fan and you defend your team on Twitter, I mean, honestly, hats off to you. Hats off for you being that brave. For you being that brave.
Yeah. So here's the question, guys. Here's the question. Should we take the Mariners' 14-game win streak seriously, and I put this up there because for me, I have to take it seriously because if the Mariners should happen to sneak into that wild card spot, then look, there are some teams that the Astros really, for whatever reason, they just got our number for some reason. And Seattle is kind of one of those teams that we kind of struggle a little bit against. And so I don't really want to go up against Seattle if I have to in the wild card. I really go up against, some other team or whatever the case may be. The Twins, in the second round, because I think we should have the seed, with the Yankees on the first. So we should probably play the Twins or whatever. Hopefully, maybe the second round. But again, I'm trying to explain to Mickey, man, that 14-game win streak, yeah, it looks nice, and at numbers, just like the Orioles at 10 look nice, whatever. But if you look at the competition level, they're all sub 500 teams, except for maybe San Diego, which was kind of at the beginning of that win streak. That's always the only team I would take seriously out of all of that. So I don't really put in the win streak a lot of merit, but the fact that they are 9 games back of Houston and they are at the top of the wild card, for Houston, that could pose problems if we have to face them, in the playoffs. So I do take it from that standpoint. I take it a little bit seriously. But what do you guys think, Logan?
I mean, I get that some of the teams they face, like you mentioned, were below 500, but you should beat those teams. I mean, that's what you're there for. If you're legit, if you're a serious team, then you should be able to beat those teams. And they are going on a nice win streak. And kind of unfortunate though, the All-Star break is there to kind of stop some momentum. And now going into the second half, right? Obviously, the Mariners. They're still behind your Astros, Jay. In terms of the standings, but let me check. Give me 1 second here, and I can check the standings for the wild cards. I know they're not too far out in that regard. They are the second wild card, actually. So if they can keep up momentum, man, you know what that means, Jay? They're going to be going to the postseason for the first time since 2001. Yeah. I just want them to get in the postseason. I don't care how they get in. I want this team to get in because I think it's one of, if not the longest. I know it's long for baseball.
Well, look at this. Seattle came into the league 1977. They got their first winning season in 1991. They've only won the division 3 times, and the last time they won the division was 2001. So, they got a long drought. They've never made it to the World Series, obviously. So there's a lot of a drought there for those guys.
I think that they'll be. I think that if they do want to make some additions, they'll be buyers and not sellers. I think this win streak has kind of proved that. And like I said, I want this team to. I don't think they're going to be a deep postseason threat, but I want them in the postseason. I'll say that much, just so they can finally get in. Finally, man, that's what I want. So take it serious, man. I want this. Much to our boy Mickey's delight, I want this Mariners team in the playoffs, Jay. It's going to be fun to watch. The fans deserve more than anyone, for God's sake.
Yeah, and to address Frankie, I'm not scared of the Mariners, but I do respect the fact that they are a team, that Houston typically struggles with. Now, postseason is definitely regular, so I do expect the Astros, when we get to the postseason, to go up another notch. I do expect that because they're a veteran team. This isn't their first rodeo in the postseason, but again, some teams just kind of have your numbers sometimes. It's weird. But anyway, Pride, what do you think, brother? Taking it serious?
You had me running back to my phone. Shoot. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. When the Orioles went on their win streak, did we take them serious? For them to climb over 500? The answer is yes. Don't pretend. Don't pretend.
Sure.
Don't pretend. You're pretending. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for being honest and objective about this. I appreciate your candor and your honesty, Chris. We need more people like you in this world. Jay, you're trying to be, as the kids say in the street, fugazi. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to pretend all this stuff.
Really to make looking to the streets. Hey, that's twice.
Fugazi. I can't even spell fugazi, but okay.
Exactly. That's how fugazi you are. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, if we can respect the Baltimore Orioles. And I do. I think their win streak is impressive.
They're at 500?
The best team. They're over 500. Believe it or not. The AL East is the only team with every team over 500. Believe it or not. But the best team that they beat in their win streak? Does anyone know?
The best thing they bought was Toronto, I believe, wasn't it?
You said who?
Toronto?
You can make that argument. I don't think so, because I think Toronto was playing like boo-boo.
I would say Toronto fired their manager. That's how good they're doing.
No, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I guess I was looking at terms of record. I was
Okay, so
Right. You're thinking in terms of like talent.
if you want to say that, and then do you know who their next best team was? The Angels.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Angels was there too.
Talk about wasted
No,
talent.
hey, but hold on. I do want to set the record straight with pride. Now, when Baltimore was in the middle of that 10-game winning streak, I said to them, I said, I don't take that win streak seriously because they were playing sub-500 teams.
So then why are you taking – hold on. So hold on. The word of the day. Okay, hold on. The word of the day, consistency. So why is it that they're going to give Seattle – how are you going to give Seattle credit and then knock Baltimore?
No, time out now. You got to no, that's out of context because I was giving Seattle credit only for the way that I was saying that they make it to the playoffs. I think it was seriously because if we have to face them in the playoffs, we have struggled against Seattle. So that's what I was saying about that. Not that, you know what I'm saying?
But dog, it's the same thing. Because if they lose, we're killing them because they lost.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, I would take Baltimore seriously if Baltimore made it into the playoffs. And let's say, for example, the Yankees struggled against the Orioles. That would be a compliment or a comparison to my argument, which I'm saying that the Mariners and Astros struggle against the Mariners. And if they are, which they are in position to be in the wild card, that's why I'm taking it seriously. I don't take Baltimore seriously because they're so far down in the rankings.
But I apologize. You're right. No, Logan. He's right. I apologize. He's adding caveats, stipulations, nonsense, and tomfoolery to try to make a point. At the end of the day, a streak is a streak, brother. Listen, The Undertaker before Brock Lesnar, he was undefeated at Mania, right? We gave him the props. We didn't bring up the thing he had with Giant what was his name?
Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, Giant Gonzalez when he came on that skin suit. Never again, brother. Never again.
We forget about that one.
Why do we got to put down the Gonzalez name? Why we have to bring up him for?
I'm sorry. We know you're not related to him, Chris.
Yeah, but we don't bring that up. But which was his first one of the Mania matches in his early years ended, and he won off of disqualification. But we don't knock him. We don't knock him. Why? Because he got the dub.
You also don't knock the match he had against A-Train. Remember?
What a slobber knocker that was, brother. What is like? Look at him.
Jay is the white Stephen A. Smith.
To me, you have to respect both of them, Jay, because
here's why. The Orioles are only 3.5 games out of the wild card.
I don't care who you play in Major League Baseball, what the team's record is. It's not. No game is an easy game to win. I don't care if all Major League Baseball teams are pretty good teams. They're just some better than others. So if you win, it's a win.
I'm not even going.
It's okay. He listened.
Yeah, I'm not even going based. I'm not even going based on the talent. Like we had, right or wrong, we all had expectations of Seattle, correct?
Yes.
We all had expectations, correct?
Yeah, because they have a good pitching.
Why? Right. So we had expectations. They are now meeting expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If they're a good team, what are they supposed to do to the bumps? What are they supposed to do?
You're supposed to shellac them.
You're supposed to win. You're supposed to be. You're supposed.
They've won 2 weeks in a row.
Exactly. You're supposed. And if anything, if you don't want to give them credit, at least give them the credit for consistency and mentality. Because during 2 weeks, they've played probably the most boring baseball of their entire lives against subpar teams, and they had the mentality to go through and say, you know what? I don't care who it is. I don't care who we're playing. We're going to go out there and we're going to give you a banger. That's what we're going to do.
If Seattle's bats
and try to, come on, bro.
That's it. Seattle's
bats get hot, they're a scary team. They have a great pitching staff.
Right. I mean, let's not forget they got Robbie Ray, who won the Cy Young every year.
Bro, listen. I couldn't sleep last night. I had nightmares.
About the Mariners?
Closed my eyes. What? I just saw a bat. Bro, I was, which one? It was a few days ago. I was just scrolling. They put it on ESPN Plus. Shout out to ESPN Plus, by the way. But actually, no, fuck them because they about to jack up the prices. Piece of shit. But I was watching it, and like, I can't remember who was at bat. But I called them a bum. And then I blinked. And like, I went and I peed. And I came back. And all of a sudden, it was bases loaded. And I'm like, how'd this happen? They ended up scoring a run, and then they ended up getting into a double. They grounded onto a double play to get out or whatever. And then they kind of went to commercial break, whatever. Then they came back, and then when they came back, they started explaining how they only had a run, but look at the craziness: single, 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 single. Literally 4 singles in a row. And every time I see them, I'm looking at it and I'm blinking. I swear to God, I saw Ichiro Suzuki again, bro. I'm blinking and I'm just seeing that kid just freaking just like in softball when like they do that thing where they start running towards the ball and hitting it and then running. I swear to God, I started seeing them do that. I swear to God. You gotta give them respect. You gotta give them respect. Because at the end of the day, guess what? They're supposed to beat the good teams, right or wrong. Or the bad teams. They're supposed to beat the bad teams, right or wrong.
Yep. Yeah. Also, okay. Pride Damien said that you couldn't sleep because of LeBron's comments about Boston.
Listen. Can I touch on that real quick? Do I have the permission?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am a diehard Boston fan. If you cut me right now, I ooze green. People think I'm an alien, right? And that's not because I'm Hispanic. It's because I ooze green. So people think, I'm not from here, right? I'm a diehard Celtics fan. I heard what LeBron said. I watched it. This man did not tell a single lie. Do not let anybody fool you. I love the teams. The Boston fan base, I'm telling you, they pieces of shit. I'm telling you. I am telling you. I've been to Fenway Park, okay? And I've heard, and when I went to Fenway Park, they had played the Yankees. We were behind. We were in left field, right? And we were basically where we could yell at Aaron Judge, right? I'm making fun of his teeth, right? I'm like, fix your shit, you boss. That's all I'm talking about, right? Like an aisle in front of me, I just hear this dude scream the N-word nonstop for like 37 seconds. No exaggeration. And the only reason he stopped was because another dude got sick of it, got up and literally just mollywopped him clean off the face of the planet.
Right.
I see. Boss, listen, I'm telling you, bro. And if you don't take it from the guys like Adam Jones, the center fielder who used to play for Baltimore. Listen to his stories. Not only his stories, Jackie Bradley after he left Boston, he was on
your team.
Yeah, he was on our team. And if he made an error either at the plate or in the outfield, when he got to the outfield, go ask him what they called him. Bro, I'm keeping it a buck with y'all. It is a horrible fan base against minorities, bro. It like no exaggeration. Like people are mad that LeBron said it. Me, as a Boston fan, as a diehard Boston fan, and y'all know I'm diehard because I rode with the Celtics when it was dog shit. Okay? Yeah. I rode deep with them. I was deep in there, right? Remember early in the season when Boston Red Sox was all boo-boo in the butt? I rode deep, okay? I claim to be a Boston Red Sox fan after we got mollywopped, okay? Got mollywopped 2 games in a row. I still claim to be a Red Sox fan, okay? Patriots, I can't say nothing. Matter of fact, Tom Brady left and I still call myself a Patriots fan, okay? All right? I'm about it. But I'm telling you, this is being honest because I know y'all probably expected me to come at Bron and be like he out of pocket, he's whack and all this stuff.
I wasn't sure how you were going to handle that because I know how much you love LeBron and I know how much you love Boston. So I was like,
he's not.
Wow.
But the thing is, he in this instant, he's not wrong. He's not.
Yeah.
Boston, when the fans get angry or too excited, they talk out of the side of their mouth. They really do. And I'm telling y'all, bro, like when you know how people say for in LA, not everyone can play with the on the Dodgers, on the Lakers. It's the same way. It's the same way in Boston, but for a different reason. See, over on the West Coast, it's the pressure. It's the marketing pressure. Over here, it's that cultural pressure. Because every single time you need to grit your teeth and not say nothing. Because when they call you out your name, the instant a player turns around and says something, he's public enemy number 1. It's his fault, and he should have watched his mouth, and he should have done X, Y, and Z. I'm telling you, if y'all ever get bored and have expendable income, right? Go to Fenway Park. Go to Fenway Park. I promise you, Logan and Jay and Chris, I promise y'all, you guys will do everything right, and y'all walk out of there, y'all will feel racist. That's how bad it is over there, guys. You guys
You
will
have to take a shower afterwards.
honey, yo, you gotta take a shit. You gotta take a shower. You gotta go to like a rally. You have to go to your black best friend and dap him up and apologize. That's how bad it is. And you didn't even say anything.
They're
Y'all
going
didn't even
Yeah,
say
so
anything.
you're
to get a gallon. They're gonna get a gallon of bleach.
Step foot
They're
in
gonna get a
that
gallon of
league.
bleach so you can disinfect yourself.
Yeah,
I'm about
but
to say.
I'm telling y'all,
Oh,
bro,
but I do want to,
it's
hey,
bad.
real quick, not to switch subjects, but I do want to clarify the reason why I take, and this is from my point of view, the reason why I take that Mariners streak so serious is because it really that streak put them into the wild card. And like I said, if you're an Astros fan, you know that we match up terribly with Seattle. When I look at Baltimore, you know, I don't feel like if you look at this Baltimore, I'm not really I'm not stressed on that, but I just know what Seattle means to Houston when we match up against them. They do give us fits, and they right now are in the wild card. I think Boston is sitting 3.5 games back, if I'm not mistaken, in that bunch. So I
think that's 3.5, 4.
If I'm Baltimore, I'm trying to go get a bat or a reliever here at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
No, and honestly, like if you were to ask me a month ago, I would say that they're sellers. Because who is it? Cedric Mullins? I think he was the one. He broke some record. I think it's like he had done some franchise.
I think he went 30 last year. I think.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's what it was. He was the first. I think he was the first Baltimore player, to have 30 home runs and 30 steals. Homeboy's fat, but like I thought they were gonna be sellers. I'm not even gonna lie.
Right.
And to Chris's point, now seeing how they are, listen, they're still in contention to get that wild card spot. To get probably the second one.
Yeah, I think they're going to be buyers here at the trade deadline.
They're gonna have to. If I'm gonna tell you this right now. This trade deadline will let you know what what that front office wants to do with Baltimore. Because if they do nothing, that just lets you know that this is just another Oakland A's owner in the making. He just wants money and move on. If they sell, then they don't care about the team, and if they buy, they see something legit.
And if I'm a Baltimore fan, I'd be pissed if they sell.
What?
You know what I mean?
I'll be
if I was a Baltimore fan, I'd be pissed if they sell. It's like when you have opportunity and you're still in contention All-Star break, you got to be buyers and see what you can do.
And not only be buyers, you got to be aggressive buyers.
Yes.
You need to be aggressive because y'all have tried the entire. Oh yeah,
let's trust the process.
yeah, like bro, y'all been doing that for too long. Take a lesson from Philly. They trust the process so hard they got rid of one dude and the other one's probably about to leave him because he's sick of the noise.
Ohtani kicked off the All-Star game with the base hit.
But then he got thrown out at first. So
I'll tell you what, though,
he got thrown out at first. So he got on, but then he got off.
I'm digging these All-Star uniforms though. They're pretty slick.
Yeah, they're pretty dope. I like the AL with that black with the gold. That looks pretty dope. I like it.
Yeah, I like both of them, but
it's better than a lot of previous ones. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it's definitely better than a lot of the previous. So guys, hey, let's wrap this topic up real quick. What do you think about this Mariners win streak? You taking this seriously or not?
Oh yeah, I'm taking it seriously because the Mariners, if they get their bats going, they're a dangerous team because of their pitching
staff. I agree.
You know what they kind of remind me of? They remind me a little bit of how we used to look at the Tampa Bay Rays last year and a little bit the year before last, where it was like their pitching is always going to keep them in it, and it's like, yo, if those bats get hot, we got something. For me, that's how I look at them. Yeah. Like no exaggeration. I look at them the same exact way.
Yep. And they've been like that for a couple of years because like even last year they had a good pitching staff, but they were hitting like 220, and this year they're only hitting 230 as a team.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, folks, we're gonna get on to the next one real quick, MLB draft recap, man. Hey, I gotta be honest. I know Jackson Holiday went 1. But for me, I was surprised at that. Not that, Baltimore didn't get a good player, because Jackson Holiday is a good player. But I really thought that, Andrew Jones was going to go 1. And, I know a lot of people, at least a lot of people in the draft were saying they could believe Kumar Rocker went 3. But like you said, he has ties with Vanderbilt's Leiter, which is their number, I believe, 2 draft pick last year. So they're tying him up with him, and that could make for a hell of a fine rotation coming up. And then, Tamar Johnson, I kind of saw the Pirates with that and Elijah Green. Those really, but really the Andrew Jones not going number 1 and Rocker going at number 3, I think were the biggest things for me. Logan, what did you think about how the first 5 went? Who got it right, who got it wrong, and did anything surprise you?
Yeah, I kind of felt that Drew would go first, and Holiday was honestly still a top 5 pick, but I thought Drew would go first, but not a bad pick overall. Glad to see Rocker finally get drafted earlier, and hopefully he'll sign this year. Because the Mets just didn't want to pay him, so he moved all the way up. I think it was like 19th last year to 3. So Texas is good. They're reuniting him with Jack Leiter, right back when they were at Vanderbilt doing good things. So I like that. I like Johnson going to the Bucks, and then Green with the like we mentioned, the rebuilding Nationals. They're going to be getting a lot more top 5 picks here coming soon, I would think, with the way that their program, their team is going. So nothing too crazy outside of top 5. But yeah, it's nice to see two former big leaguer sons get drafted. It's a little bit of a twilight zone, but yeah, nice to see.
Absolutely. And again, I think for Holland, the reason why I thought Andrew Jones, I'm really surprised that they passed up on Andrew Jones was because he really is the perfect 5-tool guy, a prospect. Power, speed, defender. He can play shortstop if you need him to.
Just like his father.
A lot of people say he's got 30 for 30 potential. So yeah, I'm really surprised he didn't go number 1. Not that, like I said, not that Jackson is a bad player, because he's amazing too at what he's done. 685, 17 home runs, 79 RBA, 30 stolen bases in 40 games. What's not to like about the guy? But I really thought Andrew. I was really surprised. I know the Diamondbacks were like, "Sweet baby Jesus, how the hell did Drew Jones slide down to number 2?" Thank you, but again, amazing. Pride, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, making me run on my phone is ridiculous. I need to speak to a manager. All right, so I will say this: I was shocked that Kumar Rocker actually got taken 3rd. Because we all remember what happened before, and that reputation, it's kind of haunted him. So I honestly thought that's something he wasn't going to be able to wipe off. So for him to go 4th, I have no problem with. I will admit, I kind of do share the same sentiment as, Jay, you and Logan. I thought Drew was going to go 1. Yeah. Based on everything, I thought he was going to be the de facto number 1. No and ifs or buts about it. We're going to put him out there, and it is what it is. But lo and behold, Jackson Holiday went. And again, no disrespect to Jackson Holiday. I'm not saying he's a bum or anything, but Jay, you hit it around the head. For a prospect, Drew is a 5-tool player. And you know what he kind of reminds me of? He's a dude that, you stick him in the outfield, can play short. Who was another outfielder who could do the same thing? Mookie Betts.
Hey, that's a good point.
A lot of people have been comparing this kid to Mookie Betts because he kind of does a lot of the same stuff that Mookie does. You know what I mean? Like he's a rare 5-tool dude that you can put infield, outfield. He's got good IQ, got speed on the bag, plus power, which is insane. He's got a great eye. And it's like, all this stuff, great arm, great IQ. Like he knows when, like he understands his body. So he knows when to, try to gun it and get someone out at 3rd that he sees tagging up. Or he knows when to hit the cut. Like he's got this good vibe of the game. And that's why I thought he was going to go 1st. But again, I'm not even mad because again, he still went top. Now, if he went 5th, I have to talk somebody.
Yeah.
I would
his daddy was a multi-Golden Glove guy, and so he already got good defenses. He's going to be a Golden Glove, and he's going to be a power at the plate.
He's going to be just like his dad. In a lot of ways.
100%. He kind of has his stance a little bit like his dad.
Yeah.
To be honest, like the stance is kind of like his, but he kind of alters a little bit, so you kind of have some difference. But you see the similarity in the stance.
Hey, let me ask you one quick question. So, like I said, Rocker goes 3. They're going to team him up with his other Vanderbilt buddy with Leiter, who went 2. 2. I would imagine that Leiter and Rocker are going to probably go through the rankings pretty quick to get up into the major league starting rotation for the Rangers. When they do get up there and they're playing, 1 and 2 in the starting rotation, how scary is that going to make Texas?
As long as they pan out the way as good as they were in college, man, it's going to be great.
And that's the thing. Like, I'll be honest, I'm trusting it because I think it'll pan out great. I think at worst, this is going to be a situation where they're a 2-3 combo at worst, right? And this is me looking at the floor for them, right? Where like one of them will be your number 2, one your number 3, and you're still kind of trying to find that ace, right? But based on what I see from both of them, I will say this: I am comfortable in them putting their chips in the basket of Rocker being their 1 and let her be in the number 2, or however you want to call it. Doesn't matter. Right. I'm comfortable with putting some chips in that basket because you know what I mean. They've shown glimpses of brilliance, and it's like you give them a little more time, and we got a whole nother conversation going on in terms of you give them like 5 years. Who knows? Because and I think Jay, you said it. They're probably gonna rock it through the farm system. Like they're gonna, because they need pitchers and they have expectations. They're like, all right, look, at worst, you're gonna spend a year here. At worst, I'm talking about we're boosting you up. If we get what we wanted, we're gonna do MLB The Show. We're gonna put you in the minors and we're shooting you up before halfway through the year. You're starting, and you're gonna have regular. You're gonna be a regular in the rotation.
And I like it because I like the move too because at worst you're probably going to get 1 ace and maybe a 3.
Right.
At best you're going to get 2 guys that led a team to a national championship in college.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it's really, even if only one of them pan out, it's really a no. You still gain something because that ace is hard to find in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And not only
they've got a lot of hype around them the next probably 5 seasons to see how they can.
Yeah. And again, to your point, Chris, if they can come out with one of them being an ace and the other one being a 3, that is still
a success to me.
1,000%. It's a success because if you get that, I'm good. I will take that every day of the week because guess what? Sure, one of them is number 3, but guess what? I know for a fact I have 2 guys without a shadow of a doubt that's in my starting rotation.
Right.
Point blank, period.
Absolutely.
So I can go find twos. And remember, this is something else. A lot of number 3s in the league in terms of pitchers, you got to remember, a lot of them have the potential to be a number 2. They're just comfortable in that number 3 spot. How many number 3s have we seen go out and dominate? And then people go, oh man, he should be a number 2. You know what I mean? Like, so again, if you have that number 3 that can kind of sometimes, give you some solid stuff, again, 2 quality pitchers that you can have in your starting rotation, that makes life so much easier because we've seen guys, how many times have we seen have a potent offense and just can't get over that hump because they don't have the pitching? More than I can count. But how many teams have we seen make a deep run and look like a legitimate threat because of their pitching? Right. Once you get the pitching down, you can build the bats. You can build the bats around it because now when you have that solid the pitching established, you don't need a guy to go out there and give and beat Barry Bonds, giving you 60, 70 home runs. You don't need that. You just need contact hitters and a couple power guys in the lineup to spice it up a little bit.
And it's a lot easier to find hitters than it is top pitchers.
So much easier.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that he got, Rocker was hurt there for a little bit, and so I believe the Texas Rangers don't have to give him pick 3 money. I think they actually give him $2 million less than what pick 3 money is. So I think they actually give a savings there at that pick because
even better for them.
I mean, I don't know. See, and this is the thing about Texas. This is where I get baffled with Texas. I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think they know. And the reason why I say that is because it looks like they're tanking, but you just you got 2 of the biggest names in the offseason. And if I'm mistaken, didn't the Rangers make the first move in the offseason?
I did.
So it's like they do these things to make it seem like we're in win now mode, and then they're dog shit, right? So then they're like, all right, let's focus on the draft, and it's like, wait a minute. I'm confused. Inform me on what's going on, so I can either cheer you, boo you, or demand that your owner sells the team.
Right.
And to go back to the Drew Jones and Holiday discussion, I think the only reason Holiday went in front of Jones is because Baltimore was looking for a shortstop more than they were an outfielder. That's the only reason I think he went ahead. I think because if you look at Baltimore's outfield with Mancini and Mullins, they got they're pretty set in outfield, and they got Mateo at shortstop, which I'm not saying he's terrible, but that'd be a position that they could really use an upgrade at. And
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. I can understand.
Or even if it's not an upgrade, it's a guy that you're looking at the position. You're like, all right, this guy's a placeholder, and we should probably start looking for for someone to kind of take the reins and be our everyday starter. But that'd be a free agency or the draft. So, I mean, I get it, but I mean, Drew can play short. I don't know, man. Me personally, I would have taken Drew. I don't care.
Oh no, I would have
took
Drew too. I just think that's the only reason.
So they're
that's the only logical reason I can come up with anyway for them not to. Because I would have took Jones myself.
Right.
I think that's what they were looking at, is that they were looking for a shortstop, and Holiday had played more as technically a shortstop, where Jones could play both. There's no doubt about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what they can do, but overall, not a bad draft for these guys.
What is interesting about the draft, real quick, what is interesting about the draft is
real quick, who got a dinger?
NL, the National League just got a 2-run home run. Who's that Cardinals dude? I can't remember his last name.
Goldschmidt, but
yeah, Goldschmidt. There you go.
Yeah,
what made the draft
score is
interesting for me?
2-0.
What made the draft interesting for me as well was we're starting to see a lot of the players that I watched like when I was a kid. Now we're starting to see their kids get drafted.
There was a lot.
That's pretty cool.
There was a lot of those, Chris. It's crazy.
So a lot of it this year.
Obviously, you got the two up there, right, with Holiday, with Jones. Some more I found. You got Karsten Sabathia, which is CC's son. You had, let's see who else. You had Justin Crawford, Carl Crawford's son. Cam Collier, who was Lou Collier's son. He played from 97 to 04.
Yep.
Robert Moore, who was Dayton Moore, right, the GM, former scout, his son. And then also a little bit of football here. Elijah Green, his father, Eric, played with the Steelers for about 10 seasons. So a lot of famous sons getting drafted this year.
Hey, real quick. So I just want to, before we go to the next topic, I just want to say what you thought about your own personal team's draft. I'm gonna start off with mine real quick.
Yep.
I gotta be honest, man. Astros haven't drafted, and we all know why, for the last 2 years. So our farm system, starting to get a little thin. But I thought that the way the Astros drafted this year was phenomenal. We got 3 very versatile outfielders, and Drew Gilbert, Jacob Melton, and I believe I forget the third dude's name. But we got 3 really good outfielders, and we got a crap ton of pitchers, and Andrew Taylor, and I believe the other one was Michael Noor. But we did really, really well. We got a lot of pitchers. I think out of the 11 selections, we got 3 very well-rounded outfielders. We got depth at the pitcher. I think we got 6 pitchers. I think 6 or 7 pitchers. We got rounds 3 and 10, and then we also got all 11 selections were 20 to 22. So I thought they got depth at pitching. They got depth now at the outfielders, and again, that Drew Gilbert was out of Tennessee. To get him there at 28 was stupid. Logan, what did you think about the Atlanta Braves draft?
Yeah, I thought the Braves had a pretty good draft. All in all, I'm excited for a few kids. The one in particular, though, Jay, I'm excited for Owen Miller because he is a two-way player. They're going to have him be a two-way player in the minors. Out of high school, had a .12 ERA, so pretty good, I would say. Also, with 137 Ks, hit .548 with 18 home runs last year as a senior. So I am hyped for him. Also, too, we got J.R. Ritchie, upper 90s fastball, straight out of high school one more time. 0.40 ERA, 74 strikeouts to only 4 walks. Not too bad either.
Right.
I'm also excited, too, for one more guy, the Burkhalter, the closer, who went to Auburn and whose pitching coach, former Braves great, Tim Hudson. So I'm excited for those guys. I think the Braves had a really good draft. I'm excited mostly for Murphy, man. I think, especially with the way Ohtani's been, man.
Right.
Oh, man, I think that
absolutely.
That's why I'm so hyped for him. I'm expecting good things from him mostly. And I mean, he was their first round selection, so he's got a lot of hype around him. But I think overall, man, the Braves had a really good draft. They got a good. They went pitcher heavy early on, right, and then they kind of got some other positions, mostly kind of like the Astros, a good bit of pitchers. But yeah, I'm excited to see how these guys do. A lot of guys who are coming straight out of high school, right? A few of them from college, but mostly younger guys. So I think that overall, I think we did pretty good for overall his team.
Absolutely. Gonzo, how did the Reds draft? Or what did you think about that Reds draft?
I like what the Reds did. They got a solid infielder in Cam Collier. And I think he's going to be a real good third baseman at the major league level. Then in the second round, they picked up 6 pitchers. So that's always nice. Try to go after pitching depth. So I liked what they did, but until they fired David Bell, I really don't think it's going to matter.
I knew it was coming. Also, go ahead.
But but I did like their draft. They picked up a couple catchers, a couple third basemen, some bats. They picked up some guys that were good hitters. So I liked what they did, but I'm ready for a coaching change and a GM change myself.
I feel you. Also, Damien, I'm in agreement with you on that. I think the off season or the draft should be during the off season. Because you kind of just forget about it.
That makes no sense.
Unless you follow the sport, you'd forget it's even there, honestly, just because it is during the All-Star break.
I'm not going to lie. I forgot the draft was this week.
Everyone does, just because there's no hype around it. It's just, the draft.
I do want to point out, though, this is how good I felt like we drafted. Gilbert has a 13% strikeout rate, and Melton has a 17.3% strikeout rate, which means
don't you wish you could go watch these guys at high school just see how dominant they are?
Bro,
oh man, that'd be sick.
But you know what's interesting to me?
Ain't nothing like that around me.
But the biggest thing about this draft, which is the reason why I'm telling you, Houston really made extreme strides coming off that 2-year hiatus drafting, was if you know one thing about Houston's farm system, we develop pitchers like nobody in the world. Outside of Verlander, every pitcher on the Astros team is homegrown. Javier is homegrown. Valdez is homegrown. McCullers is homegrown. And these are all pitchers that have ERAs below 3 or at 3. I mean, they're phenomenal guys. So when I look at, and right now we even have Hunter Brown in AAA, who right now got a 2.38 ERA. So when I see we get these prospects, and that's what they are. We know, in these latter rounds, especially like 3 or 10, I mean, you're looking at, projects, and so I feel like when we put them in our system, they all have good fastballs, but they need secondary pitching to help. So I think that the Astros farm system is going to get these guys. So I'm really curious to see, once these guys come up to the ranks, the next crop of starting pitching or bullpen that we get, I think is going to be phenomenal. So again, kudos to the Astros. I mean, you've been out for 2 years, but I think that they drafted in the right way to get Houston back, at least get some depth now to our farm system to be able to bring back into the regular season. So it's awesome. All right, folks. We shall move on to the next topic, which is going to be shooting guards. Top 5 shooting guards that we think are in the league right now. If I get my computer to operate and correct. Oh, no, you know why? Because you're not in the right spot. Get your shit together.
You got
it. Top 5 active shooting guards in the league. I'm just going to make mine quick. For what I had was I had Devin Booker at 1 at 25, 4 and 4. The guy's just doing well. At number 2, I got Donovan Mitchell, 26, 5 and 4. He shoots 38.6 at the 3. At number 3, I think Bradley Beal is still right in there at 25 with 47 from the field and 35 from the 3. And then I got Anthony Edwards coming in right at 4 at 23, 5 and 3, 45% at the field goal spot. And then I got Zach LaVine rounding it out at 27, 5 and 4. The only problem I have with Zach is he does tend to get hurt, so it's hard to move Edwards up. I feel like Donovan Mitchell is just a special guy. Booker, I think, is playing well, and Beal is still playing at an incredible rate. So, not that Anthony Edwards isn't better than those guys, but I think if you look at from production-wise, it's still those three above Anthony Edwards. But again, Anthony Edwards is a hell of a damn shooting guard. Logan, what do you got?
All right, I'll make mine quick too. A lot of guys that are in your list are in mine also, Jay. All right, so let's go number 5. Number 5, I will go Bradley Beal. The only reason I put him higher up is because the lack of postseason. I mean, he ain't going to get none with the Wizards, so that's why I put him at 5. No doubt, great player. He got paid a bag, too. So that is why I got him at 5. Number 4, I will go with Jaylen Brown, just because he had a pretty solid season overall, great two-way player, and helped out the Celtics on their way to close to getting a championship, right? At number 3, this is where we get tough, right? At number 3, I will go with. I'll go. Can you do it? Is Brandon Ingram more of a shooting guard or a small forward? Because I've seen both.
Brandon Ingram? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Is he more of a shooting guard?
I want to say he's listed as a shooting guard. I don't think he's the.
If he is, I'll put him at 3 just because he's got a lot of potential. He's done really good since he went to New Orleans. Well, like I say, if you're not fact check me on that, of course, I can always switch it out. For number 2, I will put Devin Booker only because of the abysmal postseason.
Power forward.
Okay, I'll switch him out in a second. Number 2, I got Devin Booker just because he had a rough postseason all in all. And then number 1, I got Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
If Booker hadn't have sucked throughout the postseason, I would have put him higher. But coming into this year, I got to put him at 2.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I think, like I said, I think those guys could be interchangeable. I think with Mitchell, he just kind of, I hate to say it, but sometimes I think being on the Utah Jazz just kind of hurt him. Whereas I think, when I look at Booker and what the Suns have done and how far they've been in the postseason still, he was a big part of that. And I guess that's why I kind of got him at 1, a little bit of an edge over Mitchell, but I'm not going to fault that either. I think they're interchangeable. Gonzo.
All right, I got Bill at 5.
All right.
CJ McCollum at 4. I think he's an underrated shooting guard in the league. Look what New Orleans did when he got there last year.
And then swap out Ingram for that then for me, Jay.
And then I have
CJ McCollum in there for you.
Yeah.
And then I have Booker at 3.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell at 2.
Ooh, who's number 1?
Klay Thompson at number 1.
Ooh.
I know Klay didn't have the greatest year last year.
Right.
But usually he's at the top of the league, and I'm expecting him to come back.
I got him top 10, of course. I love Klay. Klay's a tremendous shooter. I love Klay. But I couldn't put him top 5 just because he didn't have the best season last year. That's what I based mine off of, man.
I don't know. I get what he's doing with Klay, and I don't.
I get it. I understand. I get
more a role player than a guy who, he just kind of does his role on the team. He knows he gets the 3 ball. That's what everybody knows. Klay to do. Klay's your 3 ball. That's your 3 ball guy. That's kind of why for me why I didn't put him in the list, because I thought about putting him in the list, but I thought I just can't put a guy who's more considered a role player. I can't put in there. I think of a Booker, a Mitchell, a Beal, an Edwards, or whatever. I look at those guys as, in leadership roles more in their team, and that's why I kind of give them that credit. I think Klay, as phenomenal as Klay is, he's a second-string dub brother, and everybody knows that, that team runs through Steph, and I guess that's why I kind of gave him the step back on that. But, again, I'm not going to fault you on it. Hey, Klay's is still, before prior injury, everybody knows that when Klay gets the rock, that ball's going in, and he'll put those daggers on you, so. Yeah, I kind of look at Klay Thompson like I look at Robert Horry with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because big shot Rob with the Lakers.
I wouldn't. I don't think he's. We'll see.
No, what I'm saying is what I'm saying is when I look at big shot Rob, he's a guy that is going to get that 3 ball and he's going to make that 3. But that's what I look at Clay. I look at Clay as your 3-ball, bailout if the inside rock isn't there. And obviously it's got Curry too, but I think Curry or Clay is more defined in that 3-ball role.
I don't know. I think that's because we've only seen him with the Warriors. I think if you saw him somewhere else where he had to be the number one option.
That's true. Maybe if he was on a different team in a different role, maybe that would
like you said, he's just playing his role. That's his role is to shoot threes, and that's pretty much it.
I get it.
And he does a great job at it. Obviously.
Well, every year but this year. But you know what? I can't hold this year against Clay because it really does take time when you get out of that. It really takes time to get back into your mode.
I think he'll be better this year.
I think he'll be better this year.
I think he's going to be.
That's what I'm waiting on. I'm holding off reservation on my opinion of Clay until next year. When I see him play next year, then you have a better idea as to where Clay really is at this point in his career.
Yeah, I think he'll be closer to the old Clay next year.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do hope so.
All right, folks, we are now at the last topic of the night before final thoughts, and we got. Man, I don't know why I did that. It just went back for some. Logan, I'm telling you, my computer's possessed, bro. I'm thoroughly.
I believe it at this point.
It's not the cat doing it this time.
It's not the cat.
I can't listen. This one I can't blame. Getting those Atlanta rains earlier, so I left because I lost power, but it came on real quick. Thank God. But yeah, it was jacked up. We were getting some heavy rain, but anyway.
Oh yeah, real quick. Damian has a good one. I didn't even think about. He has Wiggins in his top 5.
He's got. Oh yeah, let's see. So he's got Clay at 5, DeRozan at 4, Drew Holiday at 3. Oh yeah, I forgot about Drew Holiday. 2 is Wiggins. Well, okay. And the number 1 is Booker. There's a lot of guys he's missing there that we named off.
Yeah, I just need to see more from Wiggins.
You got to see a little
I need to see more than a postseason run. I get to be an all-star.
DeRozan, though. I can see where it's coming from with DeRozan.
But see, I could also see DeRozan being listed as a small forward too. You know what I mean? He's kind of a combo.
That's kind of what I was thinking. That's why I didn't put him in there. I was thinking he was more in the forward role, but.
I like the Drew Holiday pick though. I mean, he's good. He's probably one of the best defenders at the position.
Right.
Yeah. But I put Brown in there just because he's gonna give you a little bit more offense.
So real quick, so now we're at the winners and losers of the NBA Summer League. I pretty much did not consider the top 3 draft picks, Jabari, Chet, and Bancaro, because. Those are guys we expect, and they all 3 of them did well, but I expected them to do well. I really wanted to kind of see beyond that where everybody else was to determine the winners and losers from that angle. And I kind of thought, Wiseman coming off that injury and the way the way he played at 10, he was averaging 10-5 with 2 blocks, but his field goal percentage was at 54, and I saw him spacing the floor well. And so I gave him the winner spot based off of that because I feel like if he stays healthy and doesn't get injured, I feel like when he comes back to Golden State, he is really going to put them in a whole nother level. And I mean, he's really going to raise their game because he's going to be that guy that's going to give them that presence down low that they really kind of struggled with Green and so forth. So I got Wiseman as my winner in that respect. And then the loser, I went with Jaden Hardy. He started out good. His first game, he came out nice, 28 points, 9 of 19, 4 and 3. But then after that first game, he, if you really look at him, he struggled in the G League last season. And then so the 3 games that followed game 1 kind of reminded me back to that G League when he played in the G League in the sense that he had poor shot selection, he had sloppy handles, he had bad 3-ball at 26.9, he had 19 turnovers, 18 fouls in that span. So I feel like with Hardy, he's going to be a long-term project and not what Dallas is going to want to hear because I think they want somebody to come in there to take some of the pressure off of Luka, and Hardy is just not that guy right now. He's going to ride the end of that bench, and he's going to be a long-term project, and that's the main reason why I gave him the loser spot for that reason. Logan, what you got?
Yes, I was looking at some of the other guys aside from obviously the bigger names who got drafted and the ones who didn't play a whole lot. So I'm going to name a few here. Some winners. I see Jabari Walker, good 3-and-D with the Trailblazers, averaged about 12 to 13 points and also 9 boards on 67% shooting from the field. nice job there for the Blazers. They're going to need a lot of help from him if they want to get better soon. And pretty good also because, I mean, he was a late pick, second last pick in the draft. So good production from a late round selection. Also, some more winners. I'm going to go with Cole Swider, help out Frankie with the Lakers. They need some help. And they've got a guy who can hit the three ball, Jay. They have a good one here, undrafted out of Syracuse, 23 years old, a little bit older, but he's 6'9", shot over 50% from the field in about 8 attempts per game. So they will definitely take that. I could see him maybe sliding into the roster as a three-ball threat. And let's go to some losers, some guys who didn't have the best years. I'm going to kick myself here, Jay, with the Hawks. Sharif Cooper, just not good at all. Averaged about 4 points, 4 assists through the entire, just throughout the summer league and whatnot. Not the best year, but hopefully, with a little bit more development, he can get things going. Didn't shoot, only shot 19, 20% as well. So nothing great. And then also another, just someone who didn't get it going really is EJ Lytle. He got hurt with the Pelicans, so you hate to see that. He went 41, but that torn ACL, that sucks that he got hurt. But it is what it is, And also, too, if you want to go back to the Blazers, I found Shaedon Sharp, drafted 7th overall, but he, unfortunately, once again, got hurt. So it is what it is. Like I said, injuries suck for especially these young guys who are just trying to make teams. But, yeah, like I said, Summer League, I'm glad that Portland ended up winning it, right? They got the ring. And so, I mean, they for good, there's bad. And here for Portland, man, hey, at least you got something bright to look forward to this year, at least for some of your own.
Hey, what they say, if the regular team can't get your ring, revert to the Summer League.
Go to the Summer League. Go to the G. There you go.
Gonzo, winners and losers, baby.
I think a big winner in the Summer League was Maturin that the Pacers drafted. He played real well in the Summer League.
Yep.
He was the 6th pick in the draft. And some people thought he might go a little higher now. I thought he really represented himself well in the Summer League. Of course, I was paying attention to it, but he was averaging 19 points per game, and that was only playing 22 minutes a game. So I thought he had a good showing. I thought Johnny Davis from Washington struggled a little bit. But other than the top players, I mean, I thought Ivy had a good summer league. He was one that went 1 year top 3. And the one guy, Murray, I thought Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray, yep.
Had a good summer as well.
He did really well.
You guys know I was high on him. He was who I was hoping the Pacers were going to get. But I'm real happy with this Maturin so far. He looks like the Pacers might have got him a good, real good player for the future.
You know what, too, Chris? I'm gonna give the Sacramento Kings some love because God knows they deserve it. One more winner here, Jay, just for the fans, the few Sacramento Kings fans that watch our show. Big shout out Keon Ellis, really good 2nd round draft pick. Shot the ball pretty well, 44% from the field, 54 from 3, and 100% at the free throw line. And also really good on defense, averaged about 2 steals per game. So good bright spot there for the Kings.
And unfortunately, you had some players we didn't get to see because of injuries as well.
Yep.
That's true.
That or they took them out early. They played a game or two and that was it instead of the full schedule. But I get, like you said, if you draft these guys super high, you don't want them to get hurt because, I mean, that is it's kind
of a double-edged sword, though, because the experience that they get by playing in that summer league can really help going into the regular season. So, what I mean? So it's a tough decision because I understand you got a lot of money invested in them, but you can get hurt doing anything. And this is a step in their progression of getting ready for the league because it's a different speed. It's a different speed, even faster than what the summer league is.
Yeah, and I mean, also too, the preseason starts in a while too. We've still got about it's July. We got about 2 months left till the preseason. So maybe some of the guys, like you mentioned, that got some of the small lingering injuries can come back and look a little bit better and get some more playing time in the preseason, where we can really kind of see how they're going to do.
Well, yeah, that's an advantage they have. The NBA starting to get back to more of their regular schedule from the pandemic, from where it got all messed up.
Yeah, it looks like first game for the preseason, September 30th. So, like I said, about 2 months away, give or take.
Should be interesting to say the least. So right now, hey, just you guys a little heads up. 2 outs into the second, going into the third. It's still 2-0 on the NL side of life. Yeah, good stuff. Hey, Manfred, my final thoughts is this. Manfred seems to think that minor leaguers are making a living wage. Now, you know that they're going to dole out about $120 million to these minor leaguers after that court settlement. So the minor leaguers, you know, I forget how many are in that lawsuit, but they should see some relief come their way financially off that lawsuit. But I will tell you, by and large, just as a across the board measure, if you think minor leaguers are making a living wage, then what the hell's the need for the damn lawsuit? They're not making a living wage. That's the problem. Now, the top draft picks that get these $1 million or whatever in the first round or whatever, they're doing quite well. But for the guys that are around 3 through 10 that are coming up through the farm system, let's be honest, some of these cats, you know, they're not doing quite as well.
No.
So
Some of them have to work 2 jobs. Some of them have to work another job.
Yeah, I mean, some have to work at Kroger. You know, I mean, it sucks.
You're an idiot. That's my final thought. Manfred's an idiot.
It's like wrestling. It's like pro wrestling. They have to have a shoot job.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, so they're not getting paid for, you know, the spring trainings and all the other things, you know, that's outside of the regular season. You know, what are these guys doing? I mean, it's hard to improve your craft, you know, when you're having to go pick up a second job. Just, you know, you can A, put food on the table, or B, you know, for whatever else you may need. Now, I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, Logan, but I do think that the MLB is giving them a place to live. But I don't think that the actual money they're making is a living wage.
I think they slightly increased it, maybe, but I know they are giving them a place to live, which is it's wild to say, but hooray! You know, I'm glad they are. But I feel like that should have been included. You know what I mean? Or just give more money. One of the two.
I just don't know how we're a major league organization, even if it's a minor league affiliate. You know, I feel like, you know, these major league ball clubs, you know, need to be giving back to these minor leaguers and making sure they're taken care of. And I'm sorry, Manfred, when you're making $17 million. And you're talking about minor leaguers making a living wage. Well, I think your idea of a living wage and their idea of a living wage is not the same thing. So there definitely needs to be more work done on, you know, I'm not saying these minor leaguers got to be rich, but come on, let's give them at least $30,000 a year and you know, something livable that they can function on while they're, you know, in the league.
And if you don't,
they're making like $50K a year. If he, you know, I mean, that's not a whole lot for guys who are traveling constantly, never home, you know. And then the off season, I mean, what are they gonna do?
But I think they were saying that the contract length, in some cases, some of these players are only getting like $4,800 a year. I mean, they're not getting much.
No, yeah, they're not getting much money.
And then if you don't want to increase all their salaries, like you said, give them a place to stay.
Right.
Give them so much a week that, like a per diem, so much a week for food or something. Help them out
more.
Way.
Give these guys more, so they don't have to struggle.
But yeah, a minor leaguer shouldn't have to work another job. I mean,
no, it really is not. And I don't get it. If you're a major league baseball team and you drafted these guys, why would you not want to support them to get better to help your ball club? Because at the end of the day, their progression helps your ball club, right? So that's one thing I just don't understand.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure it's happened before where guys are working somewhere in the off season, they have a freak accident and break their arm. You know, I'm sure that happens
all the time.
I'm sure it happens
all the time. Logan, final thought, brother.
Yeah. Also to go with that, Manfred. Just God, what a horrible time it is for commissioning at the moment. A little bit of news about conference realignment. Notre Dame. If they want to remain an independent program, they have to earn about $75 million by 2025, give or take, right? Annually is what they're going to have. So that's a good bit of cash. And with all of the schools realigning with, you know, the Oklahomas and Texas moving to the SEC in a few seasons, a lot of teams moving to the Big 10 and Big 12 and whatnot, it is still wild to me that Notre Dame is the biggest independent school and they just don't want to be in a conference. It's still mind-boggling to me. But yeah, $75 million is about the number they're looking at if they want to remain that. Mostly just for like television, right? Because their television deal does expire in 25, so a few more years left. And if they can keep that money coming in, they still got a good football program, then I think they'll make it. But it's still weird, man. It's just weird seeing all these schools that they have to face. And it's like, man, no wonder they have great records every year.
Well, what's weird about that is that they're in a conference in every sport but football.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part. I mean, I get that obviously, football is their powerhouse, their top recruiting, moneymaker, all of that, right? But it's just weird to me. But who knows? We'll see how much longer this goes on for.
Gonzo, final thoughts, brother.
I really like these all-star uniforms. The more I watch this game, the more I'm thinking about buying one of these. I'm at least going to buy me a hat.
Ooh,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they got little star on it, I think, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
And
star?
then we'll patch on the side that says all-star.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's for all-star. Yeah.
Yep. I have to get me a Cincinnati. I'm thinking about ordering me a Cincinnati one.
Have fun showing out 50.
That's great. Yeah, I might not do
50
that.
to 60,
anything
brother.
that has MLB apparel on it's going to be expensive. This stuff ain't never going to be cheap.
I'll just wait till my next birthday.
There you go.
My son usually gets me a gift card to Fanatics with like $60, $70 on it. I'll just wait till then, and then I'll get my hat.
There you go.
Hey, when my family buys stuff like hats or jerseys or whatever that case, we put that crap on layaway and we made payments.
Yeah, Chris, I checked the MLB shop, and this is just obviously the Yankees one. I'm sure they're the same throughout.
Yeah.
This first one that popped up, $47.99
For a hat?
Yes, for a hat. Yes, sir. So that's at least probably $55 with shipping and all that good stuff. So
I'll wait a few months.
Wait a few months for it to go on sale.
They'll have the all-star. They'll start having the all-star stuff on clearance. I'll wait.
There you go. Buy it on clearance. Yeah, buy it for $20.
You don't have to do that, guys. You have to look, Gonzo. All you got to do is go down there and donate platelets 3 times, and you're golden. You're in there.
There you go.
Oh, hey, I got to do that for gas. I got to do that for gas money. I can't afford to do that for a hat.
We can't do that for hats now.
Gonzo said I gave up a kidney for a year's worth of gas. It's all good.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, man. It's been a great show. Between Pride, Big Shot Rob, Stat Guy,
Stat Guy was on?
Hey, yeah, all of them guys were on, and they kind of at various points, and then, Pride and Frankie been chiming in a lot, Nikki Delaney been chiming a lot, and as always, my sidekick, we have Rob Stripe, don't let me forget Big Shot Rob, and then my faithful sidekick there who never misses a show unless it's, an emergency or she says she's late and he's freaking out. Most of the time, big baby face Logan is here with me, always and faithful. And I love you, Logan. I love you, Chris. And, man, tell what we got next? Thursday. Oh, my God. Thursday. Real quick. Thursday is a very important show. You may ask why.
Why, Jay? Why is it?
It is double-hitter Yankee Astro Day, which means Frankie the Yankee will be on the show. I'll be on the show. Everybody's going to be on the show. I'm pretty sure Gonzo's not going to want to miss it. Nobody's going to want to miss double-hitter Yankees Astros. First game, I think, is around noon, I believe-ish. And then the second game is around 6-ish. Then the game will come, and the show comes on about 7-ish. So I figure by the time the show comes on, we would have gone through the first game, and we would be partly the way through the second game. So somebody is talking some shit, and somebody's eating some crow.
Yeah, Jay, the first game is at 1:10. The second game is at 6:40, both Eastern Standard Time.
Exactly. So by the time the second game comes on, we're going to be 20 minutes into the game, and either I'm eating some crow, Frankie's eating some crow. I don't know. But it's going to be a very, very saucy, maybe even, dare I say, intensified.
I'd say me and Chris, we get to relax. We don't play on Thursdays, so we get to chill out, Chris, and just watch them go at it.
Yeah, we don't start back up till Friday.
Yep.
So again, all I'm saying is Saturday's going to be good. You don't want to miss it. It's right there in the heart of the doubleheader of the Yankees Astros, 1 versus 2 at the very top of the league. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to enjoy it, hopefully, because I really don't want Frankie to be ahead, because God knows it's going to be horrible for me. But thankfully, through the shit-talking experiment with Logan, I think I have a grasp on how to handle Frankie. So we shall see if I learn from that experiment. Thursday, you don't want to miss that show. Hey, until next time, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, it's your boys here at Unscripted, and we are signing out. See you guys later.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're hiding the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so time for laces.